Welcome everybody to another edition of the Four Compas on the Beat. Thank you guys so much for joining us on this Tuesday. We're gonna get into a lot of stuff. We have another jam-packed episode for you guys. In this episode, we have Doug Kyed, Patriots beat reporter for the Boston Herald, joining us to talk all things Patriots. The amount of spending they've been doing in free agency. Did they ask Doug for some money? Did they ask Doug, hey, with all this money, we need the beat reporters to shell out some cash? I'm kidding, obviously, by the way. We'll also do a recap on all the deals that have happened in the second wave of free agency. And time permitting, we'll do Burial of the Week and Una Mas. And we have a bunch of other stuff planned. We're going to talk about, obviously, John Cena's first promo as a heel. What did we think about that? Some individual his answer may not surprise you, but all right, let's go with the intro.
Compas on the beat. Let's get it. Let's go.
Yeah. So we're Compas.
Yeah, we are.
There you go.
Hey.
There you go. Okay, all right. We got proof right there.
Some guy that seems like he's asleep. Need you to wake up, Gilbert. There's a lot of energy.
Come on, Gilbert. Let's go.
Come on. Dan and Dago is at Moe's.
I'll show you. I'll show you. I got it right.
Okay, that's it. You guys, I am done with mine, but that's couldn't get better than a 2026 6th-round pick swap for a 7th-rounder. So
Freaking love you, Chad.
Hey, dude. Cool, man.
Compas on the beat, man. Derwin James signing off, man. Watch Compas on the beat, man.
Welcome everybody to Compas on the Beat. I am Fernando Ramirez. There's no need to tell you guys what's going to be on the show. You guys know he's going to be on the show. Doug Kyed, our compa, love him. Met a couple years ago, back when, again, I'm still angry. Gronkowski lied to me a couple years ago at the Super Bowl. But you know what? Let us get our special guest on, and then we'll get the fellas in here. So here is Doug Kyed. Yes. Doug Kyed is on. Doug, how are you?
I'm doing all right, Fernando. How are you doing?
I am doing well. Thank you so much for jumping on with us. Definitely appreciate it. If you don't mind, real quick, we're going to get our other two guys on here, and then we're going to just chat with you. It's always great to talk to you. How's the weather out there, by the way?
Not, it's no Southern California weather, but we're like 50 degrees, which feels warm for us right now. Tomorrow it's going to get up to 60, so not too bad. Not as bad as it was a few months ago.
I want to know when you're coming back out to Cali. We need to get a burrito or something.
I know, definitely. I want to hit up San Diego next time. I need to spend some more time out there. So yeah,
Disneyland. Sure. I know you guys are like us, huge Disney people. So I'm sure you're going to come out to Disneyland pretty soon. But definitely great to see you. All right, let us get in. This is Vic, the producer. We're going to bring him on. Vic, how are you doing?
Doing good. Good to be on here. I got my Boston hat just for Doug Kyed.
Nice. Love that.
There you go. Vic, do you know why I do Daniel Bryan for
I
Doug?
don't. I share it with the people too. That way
Doug
people know
is
what's up.
from Washington. So
I was born in Washington. Yep.
Yeah,
born and
he was
raised.
born in Washington. That's his guy. So I hit him with the yes every time he's on. Doug, I know this guy doesn't need an introduction because you know him. He asks you the craziest questions when you're on the show. Doug, this time he doesn't disappoint either. He has a bunch of questions for you. Let's get him in here.
There we go. I was about to say, I'm super offended. I wasn't in here to do the yes.
True. Yeah.
I was robbed of it. I'm
sorry, Doug came on. I don't want to keep a guest waiting. So
that's true.
I love that we have Doug on. Doug, obviously, let's start off. There's a rumor going around that the Patriots asked you guys for money to help shell out, to help. They you know how when you go to mass, they
the handouts, for sure.
Who can donate?
Right.
No, but obviously, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Doug, just what have you thought about all the spending that these guys have had, and I think they spent over $150 million. Just what has it been like so far in Patriots land?
It was definitely exciting the first day of free agency. They, I think, signed like 8 or 9 guys within the first day or two, which was about what we were expecting, but still to see them land Milton Williams was huge because that was really regarded around the league as kind of like the top guy in free agency, just because he's so much younger than most free agents are, only 25 years old, signed for 106 million, 104 million, something like that. So that was huge. But Patriots fans themselves are like a little bit disappointed right now because they were expecting more action at offensive tackle, expecting more action at wide receiver. They've only landed Morgan Moses at tackle and Matt Collins at wide receiver so far. So we'll see what else they've got up their sleeve in both
Garrett
those
Newberry
positions.
today.
What was it?
Garrett Newberry today.
Yep.
Yeah.
They got Garrett Bradbury to play center, which is good. Because they had cut David Andrews, which was a little bit of a surprise, but given his age and injury history, wasn't like the biggest shock, but certainly helps to have Bradbury at center now. Could still swing a trade for a center, but we'll probably be looking at the draft, I would assume, unless they sign Cam Robinson at left tackle.
So, Doug, before I turn it over to Vic, how has it felt going from to a guy like Mike Vrabel, who looks like if you ask him the wrong question, he'll just punch you in the mouth?
It's funny because like we had the 1 year of Gerard Mayo, who was like friendlier, obviously, but Vrabel seems like he's like maybe a nice little bridge between Bill Belichick and Gerard Mayo, where he's still a pretty personable guy. He's very friendly and everything like that. But like you said, like you've got to be careful with your questions because Bill would just kind of stare you down. Vrabel might like go off on you or something if you ask the wrong question, which we haven't seen yet. But he kind of told us early on that like, hey, sometimes I'm just in a mood and who knows what's going to happen. So it'll be exciting at least.
Hey, you guys are going to make him rip like 2 or 3 different packs of smokes a day, dude. You guys get him worked up. That's why he wasn't hired, Frau. Too much cigarette smoking probably, and his stature.
Yeah, I know he's a intimidating guy, but my experiences with him so far have all been very good. But yeah, the Boston media can be unforgiving, and it's usually not the people who actually come to Gillette. It's like the radio hosts who don't have to deal with people on a
TV
on a daily basis. Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
No, those are the people that always piss off. I mean, Staley and Harbaugh and all these. Like in the past, that's who it's always like because the TV people, like you said, they don't have to be there Monday through Friday at the facility. All that they just come in and they ask the same questions over and over again. And some of them get their questions off of Twitter and they're asking questions that you're like, dude, I saw the guy tweet that out. What are you doing? I'm not gonna name any names, but I'm just saying, like, it's just it's crazy to see. But there was that's what happened with me last year with Harbaugh. During the whole offseason, I'm like, oh wow, he's actually like a pretty like chilled, even keel guy. And one of the beat reporters from the 49ers was like, dude, like that's just for right now. Wait till the season starts. And I saw how testy he got, and I'm like, damn. Man. And like he actually does read articles that you write, like because he did call out once or twice. He called out something that somebody wrote, and you're just
it was
like,
glorious.
Wow.
I loved watching that stuff all the like. My favorite part, I tell people all the time, like it's almost like he has a WWE character narrowed down for his press conferences. He just like kind of leans back, stares through his thick ass glasses, and has like his mouth open a little bit, and you don't know if he's like lost, if he's a little nuts, or what's going on, and like.
A little bit of everything.
Oh, I love to see it. I love to see it.
Can't read him. Yeah, exactly. But no, I think all the like, I mean, who knows? Some coaches might kind of ignore the noise and ignore the articles and stuff, but I do think a lot of them do read them. So and the pressures of the season, I think, will certainly ramp up Vrabel quite a bit because right now, like I said, it's been pretty calm, but I'm sure some people will piss him off during the year.
And it's the honeymoon. It's the honeymoon phase.
Exactly.
Like, here comes back, the Patriot way, a legend in the organization, everything else. Like, so 100% it's the honeymoon phase. It's going to be different.
Yeah.
Vic?
Yeah, no, I was going to ask Doug, talking about the Patriot way in terms of all the free agents. I think last I checked, there was 13 new free agents that were signed. They nearly spent over $300 million. In terms of the free agents that they've signed, it seems like the way they've gone about it is they have some kind of connection to the coaching staff. Is that been the biggest takeaway from some of the free agents you've seen? And a lot of them have been on defense. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, it's been really heavy on defense. And last year, or even I think it was at the Combine, Elliot Wolf, the Patriots kind of like de facto GM, said that they wish they had gained more information on some of the players that they signed last year. And I think that was kind of like the coaching staff they had last year didn't have a lot of connections around the league just because Gerard Mayo was new and he had to hire a bunch of inexperienced coaches. This year, that's totally different. They've got a bunch of experienced coaches. They've got 3 former head coaches on staff, and Josh McDaniels, Doug Marrone, and then Thomas Brown, who was an interim head coach. But yeah, like basically everyone that they've signed outside of Milton Williams has some connection to either Vrabel, Josh McDaniels, Todd Downing, Doug Marrone, Terrell Williams, which I think it's a smart approach. Maybe you're not getting like outside of Milton Williams, like the top free agents, but at least you know what you're getting in them. You know what they can do. You know that you can depend on them. So they are mostly guys who should come in and make a pretty big impact right away, given what the Patriots know about them, as long as everyone stays healthy. So I like a lot of the signings they've made. I think that they are going to be, relatively high impact players, and certainly raises the floor on the Patriots from, one of the worst teams in the league last year to maybe more around the middle this season.
Yeah, and I was just going to add too, it seems like it was like, well, we kind of want to but not have that influence from Bill Belichick. This coaching staff has a lot of Bill Belichick influence. 3 of the guys are former Raider players that just came. You have a guy in defensive coordinator, Patrick Graham from the Raiders. And in terms of Terrell Williams, I was doing a little research on him. There's no connection in terms of with this staff. He is connected to the head coach. He was there with the Titans. So how is that going to work out? Is there still some influence with the Bill Belichick with some of the free agents they've signed?
Not as much. It's like it's a pretty new defense the Patriots will be running this year. A lot more aggressive. With Bill Belichick, they were kind of expecting their defensive tackles to like 2-gap quite a bit, allow their linebackers to make plays, not get too aggressive on the edge with the edge rushers, play contain a little bit more. I think this is going to be more like pin your ears back, get after the quarterback, be aggressive, let the linebackers kind of clean things up on the backside. So it's gonna be pretty different. It's gonna be exciting to watch too, but it really makes you kind of rearrange your brain for some of the players that the Patriots are looking for, because in the past it'd be like, all right, they're looking for a 330-pound 2-gapping defensive tackle, or they're looking for like 250-pound plus linebackers who can really thump blockers up front. Now it's like these undersized linebackers, defensive tackles that can get upfield. So it's quite a bit different. I think a lot of the guys currently on the roster who were on the roster last year, like, can still fit in certain ways, but I wouldn't be surprised to see more guys cut as well, just because they don't necessarily fit what Terrell Williams is looking to do on defense this year.
And yeah, that makes sense. And I was just sorry, Fernando. I want to make sure that that was a perfect segue, because that kind of goes into what Dan. So Dan is worried about Bill Belichick.
I'm extremely worried. I don't know what's going on. Like, Frau, you have the videos and the clips and all that prepared?
Yes, I do.
What is going on?
Hold on,
I need someone to calm my fears. All right, you're gonna pull it up.
Here we go.
Where's this guy? Where's this guy at?
Oh no, my bad.
Oh, yeah. This is perfect. That's what I wanted to talk about. What are we doing? First off, besides the credit that he snagged someone who could be his granddaughter, I'm surprised he has the leg strength to do that. Like, that's wild. I didn't think it was him at first. Apparently the boy's yoked. But what's going on? What is this? Like, so I seriously thought it was AI. Like,
Vic, don't put it back, because Dan wants to know.
I thought it was fake. Where's the person I grew up admiring? Where's this guy?
There's.
Look at that.
You see it
right in his face. Right in his face. Where's that guy at? Where's the hooded
Hold on,
figure?
Vic, one more.
Yeah.
Where's the hooded figure?
There's also this.
Where's Emperor Palpatine?
Bill Belichick asking, thank you for the email. I'm including Jordan in this email. Can you include her in anything you send to me? Thank you.
See, even she's worried he's going to start hitting up the co-eds and have the same problem that, what's his name? Edragon had at LSU.
Ed Ogeron?
Ogeron. Yeah. He got a little too friendly with them sororities too, but he was more of a fisherman. Allegedly. He was more of a fisherman. He would just catch and then release. He was not trying to hang on to anybody. Like,
not adding them to the
Belichick
email chains.
Yeah. No. What's going on? I'm worried. Like, is he going to be on ayahuasca next? Is he going to be on ayahuasca next? Doing weird hippie things out there
in a cave with Aaron Rodgers?
Real Housewives of
North Carolina.
I'm gonna tell you, Island. He could be on Temptation Island next, Doug.
It's true. It's true.
If I see him do a tic tac like Brian Kelly, I'm gonna lose it. It's so hard right now. Like of course I would never say something like I've lost all respect. Like you would have to do something crazy, but this is pushing it. Like my God, dude, God.
It's pretty strange, honestly. Like the Instagram boyfriend stuff is wild. And like, I've never even tried to do that. Like lift someone up on my legs. Like I don't know if I could do that. Like I know that
there
there's
he
a clip
is.
of him like a few years ago squatting when they did some like joint practice somewhere. So like, the guy definitely stays in shape. I mean, for 72, 73 years old to be doing that is impressive, but like, adding her to the email chains, it seems like she's like part girlfriend, part like personal assistant. It seems like, right? Like during I don't know if you remember last year on the Manning cast, he held up some like email that Matt Patricia had forwarded him. So it seems like Matt Patricia was the guy who's kind of like handling his emails and like making sure that he had everything. It seems like Jordan's taking over for Matt Patricia now in that role. So she could be an offensive coordinator in a few years.
Oh my God. I just couldn't believe it. I was like, she's really like, how hard? Because like, I get it. Like he's trying to not pay for her master's and get her to go there for free and maybe squeeze out a PhD. But like, what more are we trying to do out here, dude? Like that to me, like I told you, I thought it was AI. I thought it was fake. I couldn't believe it. But I was like, where's he going, dude? Like maybe the breakup, the dynasty and everything else was just so heartbreaking to him. And he's like, I gotta remake myself. Like he's like, I get it. Like he has to come out of a show in college to kind of recruit and relate. But like, my God,
he's younger than Steven and those other his kids, right?
Yeah.
That's one thing.
Youngest son is, I think, like 33 or 34.
Oh my God.
Jordan's 24. Yeah.
That's one thing. Like, I know I'm an asshole, but I would love to just get a day pass and be like, I'd like to request defensive coordinator Steve Belichick. First question. How does it feel that stepmommy is like younger than you? Like,
I can only imagine Steve's reaction.
If he's anything like his dad, he'd probably start mumbling, and he's like, "We're on to University of Cincinnati."
By the way, Doug, you know why they pulled out of Hard Knocks? Sorry, I mean I didn't mean to use that phrase.
No,
Bill Belichick and his young girlfriend, but
oh my God,
I don't know. I simply don't know. Like people,
he didn't want Jordan on it.
What people have written about, like it sounds like I think PFT or someone, Pro Football Talk, might have said that there was some influence there, but I don't know. It might have also just been the NFL saying like, we don't want Belichick to take this over. We want this to be an NFL thing, and we'd rather have no one rather than UNC do it. But definitely a strange situation for that to leak out and then for them to kind of go back on it, you know?
It was just crazy. The whole thing was crazy. Like, because I'm not gonna lie, I would love to see a Hard Knocks with him or an Amazon Prime All In or something. Like, that would be super interesting. Like making the jump. Yeah. But like I don't know if you saw today. Like supposedly, Dion wants to have them for their spring ball like practice or game scrimmage or whatever. I'm like that would be sick to watch right there.
Yeah.
Like.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I mean, I'd love to see what it looks like behind the scenes of Bill running that UNC program, just because like, I'm sure it's different from what it was with the Patriots.
Oh,
I'm sure it's also completely different from what other colleges do, because it's like, he's got Mike Lombardi as his GM. He's the head coach. It's like such NFL influence that I'd love to be a fly on the wall in the locker room too, after like some of these practices of players being like, what did we sign up for here?
In the film room. The film room.
They'll be super well prepared. I think they'll be as prepared for the NFL as anyone, but it's going to be a wake-up call, I think, for a lot of those players.
Oh, 100%, especially in the age of transfer portal and NIL. Dude, like my favorite part, like one of my favorite quotes, or like when they talk about those stories is, I could go get a guy from New England high school, or no, it wasn't New England. What is it? Where's the stadium?
High.
Foxborough High. Yeah. And I'm like, wow, that's going to be interesting to see him chew out some of these guys. But like,
I talked to a couple of players that were under Jim at Michigan, and before he even came, it was last year when they had fired Staley. I started talking to a couple of Michigan players on the team that knew about Jim. Mike, what attracted you guys to go to Michigan? They're like, dude, like you knew that guy was going to prepare you for the NFL. Same thing as when USC hired Pete Carroll. Same thing as a lot of these guys. We knew if we have them as our head coach, we're going to be prepared for the NFL. Their practices are going to be like that. They're going to do a bunch of stuff that we're like, okay, like we have to be ready for it. And I'm sure this is because, I mean, this is Bill Belichick's rookie year in college football. So I would have loved, like you guys said, if he does that all-in show that Dion's done, I'd love to see what because Bill's always been a part of the NFL. I mean, maybe he was a part of college for a minute, but he's been in the NFL since Walter Payton's rookie year.
Yeah.
Walter Payton's rookie year. Like that's a long time.
If I see Bill Belichick on the sideline smiling, no hoodie, no hat, like I'm gonna lose my shit. Like talking to the refs all nice and everything else. I'm gonna lose it, dude. I'm gonna lose it.
Doug, what? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I think he'll go back to his old ways once the season starts. But like, who knows? You know, as long as like Jordan's pretty active on Instagram, so I think that we're going to continue to see quite a bit of Bill on there. Like,
oh my,
love changes us all, Doug.
Yeah,
love changes us all.
Apparently,
truly does. Yeah.
Someone was suggesting the number of pills he has to take in the chat. You know, that's an interesting stat right there. He's got to keep up. That's why he probably got the Insta face when he announced it on Pat McAfee show.
She's Willy Wonka and he's Charlie Bucket trying to
got a golden ticket. Dude, are you kidding me? If that guy would have said he's single at a New England bar, he would have had 100 women. He didn't need to settle for one. He's probably a legend. He's probably still highly regarded out there, right?
Yeah. Everyone loves Bill. Yeah,
Doug, you guys never had to write anything about like that eye ring that caught him leaving like that.
Oh, that was.
I did not have to write about that. I don't think anyone at the Herald did, but
I
forgot that happened. I think that came out when we were in like Germany or something during a trip. So yeah, it was it the Germany trip or was it London? I forgot that came out. Yeah, that was wild.
It was hilarious because I think you even saw like snow or it looked really cold. Dude's out here bare chested. He didn't even care.
So did anybody like have the balls to ask him about it or no?
Oh no, definitely not.
Okay.
Yeah. No.
Oh, I would have died. Dude, too bad. Could you imagine you get someone off the street? Hey, here's a pass. Ask this question, then get the hell out after you're thrown out, dude.
I'm trying to remember if it did come out, if it was during the season or not, or if he was like gone by that point. But God, yeah, no, that was that never got asked about that one. No.
Yeah,
that would have been interesting.
He had a smile on his face for that. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Doug, what do you make of Drake May? I mean, I thought he had a better rookie year than most people expected. I remember there was a lot of questions about him coming out in the draft, and he really settled down. I thought at some points he looked good. At other times, obviously, he had his rookie struggles. But what is a thought in New England about Drake May?
Yeah, people are really high on him. Obviously, not a lot of winning last year, but showed a ton of potential. There were people on staff who thought of him as being like the second or third best rookie quarterback when he first came in. And then by the end of the year being like, no, this is the best guy. Like this is the number one guy, even above Jaden Daniels after last season. And obviously that's people who are working with them. So they might be a little bit biased, but just the combination of like, he's got a great attitude behind the scenes. He was really accurate last year, big arm. Yeah. I think he's faster than a lot of people thought he would be too. Like that was one of my number one takeaways watching him last year is that he would start, running around the corner. He'd be like starting to turn the corner, and he was like beating safeties. He was beating corners to the edge, which I didn't know that he was that fast. I don't think that always showed up on tape at UNC, but I mean, he's got the rushing yards to prove it. He was a great scrambling quarterback last year. I think they'll probably have some more designed runs for him this year too, just because Josh McDaniels liked to do that with Cam Newton during the one season that they had him here. So I think a lot of the potential is going to be unlocked next year, just as long as the offensive line can protect him. He's got some people to throw to, which right now are still concerns because, like I said, like there's no one at left tackle right now, and his top wide receiver is probably it's Kendrick Bourne, Kayshon Boutte, Jalen Polk, Javon Baker, Matt Collins, Demario Douglas. Like it's a bunch of number threes. There's not even a number one or number two in that group right now.
So that leads me to my next point. So there was a lot of noise about maybe that tackle out of LSU about maybe going after him. But then it's like you said, you look around and you're like, well, you got to give this kid right now. What Charger fans are basically talking about Justin Herbert, that he needs firepower. You got to be able to compete against some of these other teams.
Yeah.
Is that the way that New England is kind of looking at it? Like, hey, maybe we can snag a receiver and a cornerback in this same draft in our number 4th and then the 4th overall pick. I think I saw Daniel Jeremiah has Travis Hunter going to the New England Patriots. Is that kind of like the way you feel like most, not just fans, but is there a sense that that's kind of what people want in New England is Travis Hunter?
Yeah, I think fans would be happy with either Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter there. Like I think the hope around New England is basically just that 2 of the quarterbacks go in the top 3, so that they've got at least one of those guys sitting for them at the 4th overall pick. If those 2 go off the board before the Patriots pick, I think it'd be fine if Will Campbell was the 4th overall pick. The arm length is definitely a concern, just because he's such an outlier with 32 and 5/8 inch arms. Mm-hmm. He's athletic enough to maybe stick at left tackle, but you don't want your 4th overall pick to really be a concern for any reason. So if he's the guy who's sitting there, if Abdul Carter and Travis Hunter are off the board, maybe they trade down, grab a tackle a little bit later, maybe even grab Tetairoa McMillan or something in a trade down. But the ideal situation is definitely for 2 quarterbacks to go off the board first, and then for them to be able to take either Carter or Hunter. If that's not the situation, then they've got to kind of scramble a little bit. But if it is Campbell, it's not the worst situation. You plug him at left tackle, see if it works. If it doesn't, maybe you have to move him inside to guard. But offensive line is such a need that I don't think anyone's going to complain too much if they wind up with who's regarded as the top offensive lineman in this year's class.
Doug, real quick, oh Jesus,
T-Mac?
I blinked on who?
T-Mac?
Yeah, T-Mac. Sorry, I blinked on his name. Yeah. Why right before the season was over, most mock drafts had him top 5, top 10. Why do you feel like he's kind of dropped off? And because I've seen a mock now, I think today I saw mocked. One, Daniel Jeremiah's to the Chargers. The other one was what's his name? Mel Kiper had him going to Denver 20th. So why do you feel like he's kind of fallen?
It's a good question. I think that people might have been mocking him too high a little bit because you just expect a wide receiver to go early, and maybe some of the media is catching up to what the NFL thinks about Tetairoa McMillan, but just a lack of speed there. Not necessarily the most I don't know. He's on the more slender side. Just seems like the NFL might not have been as high on him as the media was early on, but I still wouldn't be shocked if he was top 15, top 10 pick. I think someone might still talk themselves into him, depending on how he interviews and everything. I heard he interviewed well with the Patriots, so it seems like he's a guy who will, interview well with teams. But yeah, I mean, if Chargers sitting there at 22 overall and Tetairoa McMillan's there, then that seems like Chargers fans would have to be pretty happy with that result.
Dan?
Oh, 100%. A receiver, that's what we need. But I was going to say, it works out perfectly for you. You get Travis Hunter at 4, and then in the next round, you got a lockdown safety out there. Shiloh. Don't forget about Shiloh now. He's also in this draft. Don't be forgetting about him. One thing I did want to ask you about
hold on, I think Doug had
Well, no, I was just going to say that it feels like somehow Deion Sanders is going to figure out how to get Shedeur and Travis Hunter on the same team. I don't know how he's going to do it. I know.
Could you imagine?
I guess it would require Shedeur to fall pretty far down the first round, but I'm sure Deion would love that if those guys were teammates.
Oh yeah,
and then you had Shiloh,
right? Then you grab Shiloh in the second round.
There you go. I'm wondering seriously how he's gonna. Like I said, I've said this. I mean, I'm not gonna beat a dead horse, but that's gonna beat it. That's gonna be a nightmare. Whoever drafts Shiloh, maybe he'll be a camp leg. We'll see if he makes it out of the draft. But the other two, I just think that's gonna be such a headache with, not only is I don't want to say worry, because again, this is PR. Yeah. It's stupid. If they perform well, who cares? But with Travis Hunter doing his interviews, I see some of the stuff from the combine, and I'm like, oh God, that seems like a nightmare. And obviously, I think Coach Prime over there out in Colorado would be pretty vocal also if he thinks his son's not being used in the right way. So
yeah,
I just think that's a PR nightmare.
Who's the other one?
Oh, sorry. Then if Shiloh doesn't make a team, who knows how it's going to go?
Deion Sanders Jr.?
Oh, yeah. He's gonna go help him pick up a camera. That's what he's gonna go do. He'll carry the boomstick for Dion Jr. now. Who knows what he'll do? But one thing I wanted to ask you: what do you think about speaking of ayahuasca and medicine, Dr. Aaron Rodgers? What are your thoughts on that? You think? Because I'll tell you one thing. I hope to God he goes to Minnesota and completes the trio, just like Brett Favre, but. People are saying Pittsburgh and stuff like that.
Did
I don't know
what Doug, what Cam Hayward said today?
No,
Cam Hayward. Speaking of which, yeah, that's right.
Did you say yes or no?
No,
I didn't hear. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'll key that up for you.
There you go. But like that's a whole curious thing because I was like, because to preface this a little bit, why I asked is today on Rich Eisen, we kind of heard it on the way to work. They're like, well, do JJ McCarthy? Like, in my opinion, like this is perfect for JJ. You get to learn behind one of the best. Like he has less risk. He's coming off an injury and everything else. Yeah. Like that to me would be the way to play.
And then you heard from Jordan Love that Aaron.
Oh, how much he helped. Yeah. How much? Yeah.
And
then Aaron buried Brett Favre in one of those, calling him a dick, that he was a dick when he got drafted.
Vic, I'm going to show the video real quick.
Okay, cool. I was stalling. There you go. I'm good.
All right. Here it is. This is what Cam Hayward was asked about if he would do a darkness retreat. If Aaron told him, if you do a darkness retreat, I'll sign with the Steelers.
I ain't doing that or darkness retreat. I don't need any of that crap. Like either you want to be a Pittsburgh Steeler or you don't. That's simple. That's the pitch. Like if you want me to recruit, that's the recruiting pitch. Pittsburgh Steelers. If you want to be part of it, so be it. If you don't, no skin on my back.
Wow. All business from Cam Hayward right there.
Oh, yeah, not messing around.
I think the Vikings would definitely be the funniest outcome, just because it would be the exact Brett Favre repeat. I think the Giants would be a little bit interesting too. Like you wouldn't have to move very far for that one.
Yeah.
And then I'm sure like if the Giants pick him, then they take Shedeur afterwards. The Aaron Rodgers, Shedeur, Sanders relationship would be fascinating to watch. And I think that like whichever team does sign him, I guess the Vikings already have it built in, but like I would also draft a quarterback pretty high because some of Rodgers' best years were after the Packers took Jordan Love. I think it like ramps him up a little bit. I think
motivation.
Yeah. And the same thing happened to Brady after they took Jimmy Garoppolo. Like Brady in 2012, or I think it was 2013, really didn't have the best year. All of a sudden they draft Jimmy Garoppolo and Brady's like got MVP seasons year after year after year. So that's the best thing you can do for those like highly motivated older quarterbacks. Draft a quarterback, then you can get them playing their best football.
So that was the one where Kyle Shanahan, who was the team that called the Patriots and said, "Is Jimmy available?" They said no. Yeah. Well, what about Tom? And then they hung up the phone. Was that the 49ers?
that was the 49ers. Yeah, I think it might have been like something like that. Yeah. And then, they wound up trading Jimmy to the 49ers for what, second round pick or something like that?
Yeah, exactly. But see, that's my thing when it comes to Rodgers. Like, well, one thing is, if Jordan Love is like, I wonder what my later years are going to be like here. Son, you're going to be a Jet, then you're going to be a Viking. That's the trajectory we're on.
Already
for Jordan Love.
I just think like,
that if he went on the Vikings, like,
dude, that team's ready to roll.
You tried it last year with Sam Darnold. It worked. But it couldn't get you over the hump. Maybe a year removed after tearing his Achilles. Now he's 2 years removed from tearing his Achilles. Maybe Aaron could go back because there was times last year. I know. Like Vic and Gilbert sometimes call me an Aaron Rodgers homer. I want to see chaos, and Aaron is chaos. I love it. I want to see it. But I think Aaron was moving better towards the end of the season last year. And then here you get him away from Devontae. It's Justin Jefferson. It's Addison.
Dude, he has an elite receiving
with those three. That's already like a lot of like turbulence there. But if you go to the Steelers, DK and George Pickens are almost the same. I think both of those guys are going to end up fist fighting each other if they make it the whole season. Like I would just, and then the Vikings are kind of younger. The Steelers are older on defense.
Yeah.
They've gotten old. TJ Watt is older. All these guys are older, but I don't know what I think the best scenario would be the Vikings, but I guess they need to talk themselves into it and they still haven't yet. And that's why Aaron's waiting. Allegedly, according to Rich Eisen, is because he's waiting for the Vikings to offer him something.
I think Aaron Rodgers also likes to just make people wait. Like he knows that he's the only quarterback left out there right now at this point. He knows he's got time before the draft, and it's just like, all right.
Dan, what about the former Steeler?
Oh, God.
Russell Wilson.
Danger.
That guy. Danger. Russ? Yeah, right, dude. He's only dangerous if you sign him on your team. He's gonna implode that thing.
I think Russell Wilson might be Aaron Rodgers' number one hater right now, because you have to assume that like he's not going to sign until Rodgers does. Like teams are waiting on Rodgers, then whoever doesn't get Rodgers will sign Russell Wilson. So like Wilson's probably the most impatient about Aaron Rodgers right now.
Yeah, I bet.
You missed it at Radio Row. Jameis Winston was all over the place. Like
Dude, it was so ridiculous. It was so ridiculous.
I was like, I wonder if he's this active in the
homeroom and everything.
Exactly.
One thing that I think would be great, honestly, just last thing about him going to the Vikings. What better person to have? Because in my opinion, let's just say JJ beats him out. Right. JJ beats him out. What a great backup quarterback to have to learn from. Like, the guy is cerebral for all the peyote and the weird stuff he does, allegedly, hallucinogens and everything else off the field. Yeah. Like, for the game, he knows the game. He knows defenses. He knows how to play. The spirit is willing, the body isn't. So, I think that would be just such a good idea. I think there's less risk. It's a low risk, high reward, in my opinion, especially if it pans out right.
We have a couple minutes left with Doug. Vic, do you have anything else for Doug?
Well, we were going to ask him about the Jamar Chase and getting extended. So we just wanted to get your thoughts. I know that the Patriots were hoping that Higgins got out of there and they were able to sign him, and they've kind of been waiting around now because of it. So what effect did that have with the Patriots having Jamar and Higgins extended by the Bengals?
Yeah, it just takes another option off the table. Like, I think there was kind of like in the back of the Patriots' minds, like, hey, if Higgins doesn't sign long-term, maybe we could still trade for him, then sign him to a long-term extension. My biggest takeaway on that is that I think Higgins would have got significantly more money if he hit the open market. Like, he signed for $28.5 million, which is a lot for a number 2 wide receiver, but I think the Patriots probably would have been willing to give him like 30 plus million, which I guess in the grand scheme of things, like when you're already making that much money, what's an extra $1.5 or $2 million? But still, like that was the biggest thing that I was surprised about, was like, wow, I was expecting Higgins to get a bigger deal than that. And Joe Burrow must have had a lot of influence to be able to get both those guys to sign, say like, listen, we're building something special here. Let's get everyone back. Let's compete for a Super Bowl. So that's the influence that a good young quarterback can have on his teammates. And that's why teams want to get guys like Justin Herbert and Drake May and all these other quarterbacks, because eventually you can get guys to, sign for less or be willing to stick around and try to win a Super Bowl and everything like that. So yeah, that's the biggest thing that I was surprised by, is just the amount that Higgins' contract came in at.
Do you think Hendrickson is next, or do you think he'll be traded? Because 30 million, that's you'd have over 100, and I think it's 20 million wrapped up in 4 players.
Yeah. It seems like from the reports that are out there, it seems to be like kind of trending towards him coming back, but
that's crazy.
It's tough. Like I don't think they've got a ton of cap space right now. They don't usually love to like spend that much money. They're kind of a cheaper franchise. So
Rich Eisen said that his what was it? The wallet, the one that makes the noise.
The Velcro.
The Velcro wallet.
Yeah. Oh my God. I mean, the Bengals, like for years and years and years, they had like one scout on staff. Like it's such an old school run franchise where Mike Brown's like 89, 90 years old, something like that. Still technically the general manager of the team, like goes around in his golf cart watching practice. It's like a family run business, but it's an NFL team. But they're doing the right things right now by bringing back Chase and Higgins. So good on them for doing that.
Let me ask you a question real quick. Them tying up so much money into basically 3 players, how do you think that's going to play out long term? Do you think that was the right move?
Dan's not a fan of it.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Well, I just didn't want to kill the time doing my whole backstory. No. Like, I think to me it's ridiculous. Like, I think quarterbacks are overpaid. I think a lot, and I don't mean like overpaid in the sense they played a child's game. Yeah. I meant just in general in the terms of cap space and everything else. Like, I think in my opinion, it's a cardinal sin to tie up almost half of your salary cap into 3 players. Because I mean, it's this thing that Charger fans have a civil war about now. Like you can't win the game having nobody blocking and then having the best receivers out there. That, in my opinion, lost them the Super Bowl against the Rams, besides the 12th man and everything else. But what do you think about that? Like, just long term, because like obviously, of course, I'm a meme guy. I love the memes on Twitter, and they're all like, they're gonna lose 97 and 99 to the Ravens and stuff like that. Like, which is hilarious to me. But
what's their defense gonna be ranked this year, Dan?
Oh, 33rd. That was another one.
33rd.
We're gonna put them at 33rd. Yeah.
I mean, they've got to draft well. It is a risk, but they just like, if they had hit on Jermaine Burton in last year's draft, I know it was a 3rd round pick, but like if they had hit on him, then you probably don't have to re-sign T. Higgins. But they didn't hit on him. I don't think that Yosh Savish, or whatever how you pronounce his last name, is ready to be the number 2. So like, by drafting poorly, they kind of force themselves into this. But now they've got to hit on this year's draft to be able to shore up that defense, because like lose Trey Hendrickson, like it's just like it could turn ugly fast for them. So
especially too this year they had one of the worst defenses. They couldn't stop anybody supposedly. Yeah. So like you almost compound the problem.
They couldn't stop you, Dan.
Oh well, nobody. I got the son of Odin, baby. Everybody better be careful.
Doug, last one for you before we let you. And again, thank you so much for jumping on with us. What did you make of the John Cena heel turn?
Oh, I liked that. I was watching that live because I wanted to see what was going on with The Rock and all that weird talk that he had before with his promo. So I was pumped about it. Like it's so few things in wrestling like really shock people, and that one really did surprise me. So I haven't been keeping up so much week to week now at this point, just because like I was kind of a lapsed fan for a while again, and I have a hard time figuring out like who's on Raw, what's on SmackDown, whatever. So I'm more of a pay-per-view guy at this point. So I'm psyched about WrestleMania. Maybe I'll try to watch Raw and SmackDown more leading up to it. But I think it was the best thing they could have done is turn Cena heel rather than turn Cody Rhodes heel. Yeah.
Oh.
And it all ends, I think, in Boston. John Cena's run supposedly it's going to end in.
So you got to let us know how that happens.
Their last show on the year is in Boston, so I might make my way out there if I get.
Man, that'd be sweet.
Yeah. So it's gonna be. I hope they send you to cover it, Doug, because that's a big story.
I
mean,
I know, right?
That's it. Like, and he's not gonna be like Ric Flair taking a beating at 75 years old and having a heart attack.
You never know that. You never know that.
But
I was gonna tell you, I wouldn't be so sure.
Also, I like that it's on Netflix because the other day they were in Brussels. And at 12 o'clock, they just showed it live during the time that Raw was in Brussels. I'm like, this is perfect. Unlike the people in Europe spoiling it for us.
Yeah,
exactly.
I was going to say, I would have last word. Hurry up. I would have loved seeing Cody Rhodes turn heel because I saw all the memes about Homelander. I don't know if you watched The Boys. That would have been hilarious, dude. But like,
seriously,
I was going to tell you you don't even have to watch week to week. I like just watching the highlights, honestly, on YouTube. Sure. Yeah, that just makes it a little bit easier.
Looks like Saturday night main event, Boston, Massachusetts, December 13th. So I will try to be there for that. Yeah. We'll see.
You should. Let us know.
If that's his last one, I'm definitely.
We'll for sure have you on after that again for sure, so you can tell us what it was like. Like, I hope you watched them on Monday. The way they cheered his ass and booed him, like that was peak. I had, you know what was one thing I had missed, and my bad. I know you got to get out of here, but I had missed when they would play a song.
Doug, that means he really likes you, by the way.
And that would, I do. I do. One of these days, I'm gonna have to meet you and get you a drink. But I love when they would play his theme song and they'd go, John Cena, son.
Oh yeah.
Like. But on his way back, they've just been quiet. And I'm like, no, I don't care if he's retiring. Do it.
You got to still do it. Oh, 100%. Back like amazing. 10 years ago with that. No,
it's glorious, dude. That was the best.
There you go. I might have to take, if I go out there for his last show, then I might have to take Dan with me so you can there
you go. Why not? When is it? December 15th?
Yeah. Doug Kyed, thank you so much for jumping on with us. You are the best. Tell the family we say hello. Thank you so much, and thank them for letting us borrow you for 45 minutes.
Exactly.
You are the best, and we will see you soon. Thank you so much, Doug.
Our Bill Belichick insider.
Exactly. Always good to talk to you guys. I'll see you guys later.
See you later, everyone. Right. That was Doug Kyed. Thank you so much, Doug, for jumping on with us. Dan, you got excited.
Oh yeah, I love that guy. I always love, especially when we talk about Bill Belichick. I feel like that's what always ends up happening. We're on for like 20 minutes, and half of the time we'll talk about Bill Belichick in North Carolina and stuff like that.
Vic, when we talked to Doug when the Patriots played the Chargers, I told him like, hey, I don't think you've ever experienced this, but my brother's now on the show, like on the What's Up Bolts. He usually doesn't do interviews, but he kind of wants to do this one. I'm getting him more comfortable. Is that cool? He's like, yeah, bring him on. How is he? I'm like, I'm just gonna let you know, like he is gonna ask you some crazy.
He's like, he's not a reporter.
He's like, really? And I was like, yeah. He's like, I can't wait. And he just starts asking him all kinds of stuff. And Doug texts me after, dude, that was so much fun. He's like, next time you have him on, next time you're I'm on with you guys, I need that guy on. I was like, all right, for sure.
Yeah. So see, that's what I love when we have guests on that know our shtick. Like, it's our thing. Yeah. Like, hey,
like Eric.
That's why you're a compa. Like, hey, you know what we do here and how we do things, and honestly, that's what makes us. So yeah, I mean that's awesome to hear that, because it's hard for some people. Like, hey, what the hell's going on here? But
dude, I don't know if I told you when we were out there on media night, I wanted to ask Sirianni one simple question of had he reached out to the few coaches who've beaten the Chiefs in the playoffs, and like I couldn't do it. Like I felt like there was like a lump in my throat, and I was about to puke and everything else. I was like, whatever. I'm not gonna ask him shit.
Vic, I do need to show you this. I know you'll get a kick out of this, but wait,
I got you. Go ahead.
Let me see if no, it's not share screen. It's a video file. Hopefully, it's not too big.
No worries. No, and I was just gonna add. I remember last year at media night, there was a couple of guys who do tape. Like their whole thing is to kind of break down tape. And then I saw them, and you could tell they've never asked questions. One of them was asking Chris. I think it was Chris Jones or someone else. I forget who it was. And all of a sudden, they blanked out. Like they blanked because they were they asked the first question and they weren't ready for the second, like to ask him and then he's like, you know what, never mind, I'm sorry, I'm not used to asking questions. And that's how you know that they're not in that environment, they're not used to that environment.
But it still happens to me sometimes where I'm like, oh, I had a point but I can't remember what it was, so I'll just make something up. But look, this is what happened on What's Up Bolts the other day, Vic. You'll get a kick out of this.
You don't need them to be the number one. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm talking about. You need to bring in someone who can catch the football when they're open. Is that too much to ask? Can I put a questionnaire out to all these free agents and say, do you catch the ball when you're open? Checkbox yes, checkbox no. No, fuck off, don't come to my team. Or yes, come on over. I need more guys like that. Okay? But I think Keenan and Mike and Ladd would be very serviceable. I don't want to hear the horse shit of, oh, well, Ladd and Keenan do the same thing. I need guys who can catch the ball when they're open. Open. Is that too hard to ask? Is that too hard to ask?
So what's the question they're going to ask again?
It's going to say, do you catch the ball when you're open? Check yes or no. No, fuck off. Don't come to my team. Who are ya? That's what we do at What's Up Bolts. We shit house. That's what we like to do.
Speaking of which, Dan, what there? Vic, you don't have to put the.
No, I know. I was waiting for you. Go ahead. You're good.
Dan, what's one of the nicknames that you have for a certain compa that hasn't been on with us in a while?
Well, Gilberto.
What's one of the, when he switched teams? What did you what was that nickname that you called him?
The Gilberto. Oh, Gilberto Ramzano.
Okay.
Yeah.
So today, SI released an article.
Oh,
they debated which team will which free agent will make the biggest impact. Dan, if you had to pick a team that Gilberto chose, what team do you think it is?
Oh, he picked the Rams, didn't he?
No. It was the Raiders.
The Los Angeles Rams reverting to their old ways of betting on big outside veterans, says Plenty. Adams could be the missing piece to help a young core in Los Angeles. So he took the Rams, Dan.
He's a big Ram guy. Ramzano.
McVay and Les Snead made the difficult decision of swapping Cooper Cup for Adams.
Really?
There you go, Dan. Hard? You see that?
You see how excited he gets? He almost gets like a twinkle in his eye probably when he types this. He gets so excited. I can't wait to draft night because he's gonna be like, they draft always so well and they don't even send anyone to the combine. Roberto Ramzano making his appearance.
Signs Aaron Rodgers or forces him into retirement. I love funny. Connor Orr's takes. Like they're so funny.
Yeah. He was awesome when we had him.
Yeah, and he does the thing I like about Connor too is that he goes kind of off the beat. Like he doesn't follow what everybody else is doing. Some of his stories also. Well, that's the cool thing about Connor that I
remember he caught flack where he wrote after the Houston Texans Chargers game, we have to start blaming Jim Harbaugh for we have to blame Jim Harbaugh and Joe Ortiz, not as much Justin Herbert. And he wrote in his piece, but that was just the headline. In his piece, he said, we do need, like, Justin Herbert deserves blame, as all of us said he did, but that was his issue trying to go in there with lame duck receivers, except for probably one, and multiple tight ends that drop passes.
If you saw some of the passes to Ladd, like you could tell he's just zipping it in there, and it gets through or it gets past 3 to 4 defenders. Like, what are we talking about?
Yeah, and that's the one. That's the one that he caught for the 70-yard touchdown.
Yeah.
But Connor usually there was another. Oh, he put today that the Vikings need to sign Aaron Rodgers. That the NFL needs that.
Yeah,
and I agree. That's where I like. If I had to choose, it would be that.
Hard Knocks.
Damn, Doug kind of talked me into him going to the Giants just because if they draft Shador, that would be so much fun to see.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
But
I think anyone going to the Giants right now as a quarterback, I think is going to be a mess. I don't think that place is.
Well, everybody's saying it because they have Malik Neighbors and they have.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure they still have one of the worst offensive lines.
Well, not just that. The problem is too, you have a lame duck coach and a lame duck GM. They're on the brink of getting.
And the Vikings are ready to go. Like,
it makes so much sense for the Vikings. Like, the other thing too, we haven't talked about it, but. What the hell are the Steelers? Do you traded for a receiver and you're not gonna have? I saw a comment on here that was great. They're like, I guess they signed DK to all that money to block on the edge, and it's like because you're just gonna have them run.
That's hilarious.
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
I mean, what are the Steelers doing? And then you showed that video with and it just tells you that I don't understand what they're doing. Like. You're just gonna bring back Russell Wilson, and that's what you're gonna do. You better hope that Aaron Rodgers picks the Steelers. But at this point, it just seems like if I was Rodgers, I go to the Vikings.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
It seems like if they do miss out on Aaron, that probably is their plan C. I think that's their plan C. And I think them drafting Jackson Dart in the first round is now going to make sense. But the problem is the last time you rush something like this, you missed and you went Kenny Pickett. And exactly. And now he's a Brown. I mean, he got traded to the Eagles. He won his Super Bowl ring. And now he's on the Browns and he's telling the Browns, I'm ready to be the starting quarterback of this team. And it's kind of like, are you really though? Like and you know what? I'll give Stefanski a lot of credit. I think Stefanski's a great offensive mind. Head coach, I still have my questions about. But I definitely think that the Aaron Rodgers is going to be the domino that drops. That's the next wave of dominoes that drops. What's going to happen with the rest of the quarterbacks? What happens with the teams that are needing a quarterback? Because I still think that probably a third of the NFL really needs a quarterback. I'd say 2/3 desperately need a quarterback. So, I'll say 1/3 desperately needs one, 2/3 need one, and then 1/3 I think they're covered, like the Patriots, the Ravens, the Chargers, the Chiefs, all those teams. They are covered, but there's some that aren't very covered. But yeah, I can't wait to see what Aaron does. I still think he's going to announce it on the Pat McAfee show. Part of me thinks that's where he's going to do it.
That would be hilarious.
But
I've just been signed by the Vikings.
I think that'd be so like. Imagine if he just puts on the horn, the helm, the Viking helm.
Oh, that would be hilarious.
But instead of blowing, he sucks in, and it has drugs in it or whatever.
Oh my god, hookah? Maybe some
whatever.
hookah.
Whatever.
And I mean, I kind of want to see the whole he owns the bear stuff too. That would be
Dude,
great too.
He'd have to go back to Lambeau. Like,
Yeah.
Yep.
That's
you
what I
imagine-
want to see. That's
then
what
can
I
you
want to see.
imagine
Him
if
go
it-
back to Lambeau.
Can you imagine if it on the last play of the NFC Championship, Rodgers rolls out to his right, he
Oh
sees a
my
receiver
God.
open in the on the
Yeah.
other side. Instead of throwing across his body, he throws down the field, touchdown. They go to the Super Bowl. Like, I just want something similar.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it's like
He
one of those.
beats
like,
the
everything
Saints. Kellen Moore's making the NFC
He goes
Championship.
to
He
the
beats
Super
the
Bowl against
Saints.
Dan's Chargers. Like,
No,
that would be
Shut up. I need to win. I need to win.
No, it would be Vikings Packers in the NFC Championship.
Oh, that'd be beautiful.
yeah,
That'd be
that'd
hilarious.
be beautiful. Yeah.
In
The other thing
Lambeau. Do it
the
in
other thing I've
Lambeau.
heard about the Steelers and is that they might just draft the guy that they're looking at, which makes a lot of sense because he's 6'5", 225, is the quarterback out of Louisville, Tyler Shout. That's the guy that I've heard that they scouted him, they brought him in, he's one of their visits. So they might go if that's what they do, but still, like, you have a really good defense. Why are you? And then you just went and traded for DK Metcalf, and you have all that talent on offense, and you don't have a quarterback. So what's the point?
But like that's my problem where it comes to these skill players where, like, you know, just like the Chargers, some of these teams aren't a receiver away. So like trading for him to me makes no sense. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I understand if you were in like a position, let's just say the Rams or like someone who maybe are obviously the Commanders, like some of those teams who were in the playoffs, like, you know, in the NFC Championship, AFC Championship, whatever it is. Yeah, you might trade for a receiver or whatever you need because you think you're one more player away. Like some of these other teams, I'm like, dude, you have bigger holes than just a receiver. And it's like clearly the Steelers have bigger holes than just a receiver because who the hell's going to throw DK the ball when you're paying?
Well, that's
them
what I told you.
30-something
Their
mil?
defense is starting to get old. Like,
Yeah.
TJ doesn't really go the full 17 anymore.
Well,
Cam
I don't think he's done that for a while.
Yeah, Cam Hayward. Even Minka is a little bit on the. I mean, I still think Minka can ball, but you need better corner. Like now, you added an older Darius Slay. Like that defense is starting to get a little old.
With DK too.
I know. So I'm like, you know, you're gonna get during training camp a video of them fist fighting during camp. Yeah, that's just bound to happen. But
the last point on this, I was going to tell you guys
yeah.
is this kind of reminds me of the Raiders trading for Devontae Adams. And, you know, remember what, you know, they were coming off a playoff appearance and they were like, okay, maybe if we get Devontae in here, that'll help. We saw the end result. And I get it's not I understand that it's not the same culture as, you know, is going 20. You know, we have Uncle's Jam's Army says Tyler Shaw is going to be 26. He backed up the son of Odom at Oregon. Yep, he's an older guy.
He's quarterback of Louisville, right?
Right. Yeah, he's the older guy. That's why.
That's
and
crazy.
Then last time, the thing is too that I've talked about a lot with teams from the north, outside of like Chicago. In Chicago, not the Vikings because they play indoors, but like the Pittsburghs, the Browns,
Packers,
the Cincinnati. You need big quarterbacks that have strong arms. If you have much smaller quarterbacks, they don't do well because that's why Big Ben was so good out there. You need bigger quarterbacks out there, like, you know.
Jorge, we've been on for about an hour.
Yeah.
No, I definitely agree with you. All right, let us go to some winners and losers so far of free agency. Vic, why don't you kick us off?
All right, so for me, we talked about this was one of the teams, and as you said, with Aaron Rodgers, I like what the Vikings have done. I like what the Patriots we talked about with Doug Kyed, and it wasn't just because we brought him on, but as he said, if they've been really smart about their signings, yes, they've overspent on some guys. The only one that I would kind of I was gonna ask him just because we didn't have a lot of time on there, but them losing Christian Barmore to block Klutz last season was a big reason why they overspent on Milton Williams. So outside of that, they've brought in a lot of guys who kind of fit that coaching staff. So that's why the Patriots, and then the other one is the Colts. I understand, like they know they have a problem at quarterback. They don't trust their quarterback, so they went out and they brought in a backup. And one thing with that GM, that I've always been critical of with him is the fact that he doesn't go out and sign free agents. He just relies on the draft. He went out and he really solidified that defense. He went after their weaknesses with a lot of their safeties. They went with their safeties and cornerbacks. So I like what they've done. So since we're doing just winners, those are my winners right now.
Who did they bring in as a backup quarterback for the Colts?
Oh, Jones from the Giants.
Oh, yeah. That's gonna be interesting.
Yeah,
That's
which gives Gilbert's guy competition there.
Yeah. That's
Anthony
dog.
Richardson. Yeah, that's his guy.
Dude,
remember?
If you get beat out by Daniel Jones,
yeah,
and Daniel Jones, there's good upside to him. So I mean, who knows? But what was Anthony Richardson drafted like 5th overall?
Number 4.
Oh my God, dude. Just absolutely insane.
And we saw what Pat McAfee had to say, and I know Pat
that
McAfee
was glorious.
knows that team. Yeah, I mean, yeah. So
I'll go next. Did you go winners and losers?
No, you just did winners.
Okay,
yeah, you do winners because I want. Dan only has losers, which I love.
Exactly.
All right, let us go. I'll go Rams. I'll have the Rams, and not because of the Devontae, the Puna Ford. That to me is a huge deal. I think Puna is going to plug up what they need. He's exactly what they need. He's going to be able to help guys bounce out. He's also like Tyler Dragon said, he's also a pass rusher in a sense. Like he's good at that. He's able to do stuff in that area. So I definitely think that he's going to be really good when he's called upon. So I definitely think that he's going to be good. And obviously the Devontae Adams, I mean, he's going to be a better route runner than Cooper Kupp. He can still ball. We saw he had almost 200 games in a game last year with the
Jets. Yeah, and he missed 3 games.
Yeah, well, the 3 games were because they were trying to trade him, remember? So, yeah, it was the
this
fake
is a good question from Dano. He said, yeah, they did. Rams have been asking about the Ram fans. They signed an inside linebacker, Nate Landman. So we'll talk about it on House of Horns about that. But yes, and because they lost Roseboone and what was the other kid's name? Jacob something. I forget his name. But yeah, they lost 2 linebackers.
Jorge, Dan and I will be jumping on Thursday afternoon to talk about all the moves that the Chargers have made so far. We're going to talk about Mekhi Becton, and we'll talk about Andre James. I did speak to some Raider people today, and I asked them about him, so we'll talk all about that on Thursday. And I got some good information on him, so that'll be
UCLA guy.
Exactly.
There you go.
I went with the Bills as winners. I thought the addition of Josh Palmer is going to help them. Again, they're guys that spread the football. I know that he is not I know that I told the radio station when I talked to them in Buffalo, I'm like, he's a 2-3 catch guy in a game. Buffalo likes to spread the ball. That's exactly what he is. Now, can he stay healthy? That's the question. I also like the addition of Joey Bosa. If they're going to make Joey Bosa a 3rd down pass rusher, he's exactly what they need then. That's exactly what Joey needs to be doing. He shouldn't. I know he's still only like 29, 30, but he's going to be a guy he's going to be a guy that they're going to definitely Uncle Jam's Army winners, every Raider signee, a team provided bail bonds available 24/7. Joey, I think Joey will be a good 3rd down guy for them. And then I think Buffalo knows exactly what they need now. Well, I mean, who knows? We always say
I was about to say that's horseshit because you've seen this.
Yeah, no, you're right. Now, my question is about the Bills. What's up with James Cook? Because he's looking at some of these running back numbers. I'm like, James, you're not Christian McCaffrey. You're not. Oh, he looked at the Saquon
his brother is the big PR person. He's like, oh, he's gonna get the bag, and I'm like, oh no.
Is he a free agent?
It was a Saquon Barkley contract that he saw that he's like, oh, I definitely deserve this, buddy. You don't. But
no, you don't. Are you jumping backwards like over people?
Yeah,
I didn't think so.
Exactly.
I don't want to hear it.
All right. My next winner is Jamar Chase and Micah Parsons. Why? Because your 2 dumbass teams waited way too long to sign you. And now one of them got paid for $40 million. The other one's probably going to make $43 million. He's going to ask for $43 million. So I definitely think that both of them are winners just because of the money aspect of it. Because, I mean, that's exactly where we're at now, where Cowboys, Bengals are waiting too long and guys are getting overpaid. So I won't say Jamar Chase is completely overpaid, but Micah might be in that category of whenever he signs that deal, he's already going to be overpaid. And you saw, I forgot to ask Doug about DeMarcus Lawrence and Micah Parsons going at it on social media, but we'll get into that in a second. But those are my winners. I'll go with my losers next. The Giants, they have no answer at quarterback. Their offensive line, their head coach, and their GM are under fire. I just feel like we're going in kind of in a Chicago Bears 2024 where it's a lame duck coach, well, no, the GM isn't lame duck, but I think
Eberflus or that was
Eberflus. Yeah. That's why I had said last year, just go get the head coach now. Bring him in with Caleb. Now Caleb has bad habits that he carried on from college, and he might stick to those bad habits. I don't know if Ben is going to be able to get that out of him.
But you already saw a few photos of him.
Oh, yeah. Next one, Pittsburgh Steelers. How the hell do you go get a $30 million receiver, trade a second-round draft pick for him, and you don't have a quarterback? Yep. So, and then they're not making any moves to make that defense a little bit younger, a little bit more athletic. They fixed up the offensive line, but then the two running backs that they have, I just don't like. The Warren guy reminds me a lot of Austin Eckler, and Austin wasn't a 3-down back, so they're going to kind of miss.
Yeah, they got like a third down running backs like that. Yeah, I don't understand that either.
That's going to hurt them. I saw the Chargers. I know that Austin got 20 touchdowns in a year, but it hurts not having a Najee Harris, and especially for the price that the Chargers got Najee for, they should have just re-signed him and let him stay there. But I guess they didn't want that. And then last one, the Bengals and the Cowboys. Why? For the reasons I just said. You're waiting too long. You're not signing guys when you should. You're not being proactive. You're being reactive, and it's costing you a lot of moolah. So those are my losers. Vic.
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep one of them. Where's the Cowboys? As you said, that's a big reason. I mean, waiting around to re-sign some of your guys. Now, you wait around and you have to overpay for Dak. And then you have to restructure his and CD Lamb's contract just to be able to go sign some guys. And then we saw, we should have talked about it with Doug, but that the whole DeMarcus Lawrence and Micah Parsons stuff, it's just they're a team that just likes to be grab the attention, but they don't do anything during the regular season. They're just a team that is there just for headlines, and I guess that's the way. Jerry Jones, as long as he's making this money, that's all he really cares about, which is kind of sad. I feel bad for some Cowboy fans, but just moving on, the Seahawks.
Biggest Cowboy fan I feel sorry for is Joe Morley.
My God, he's going to have a stroke.
Yeah, well, I have two of his teams on here. I have the Cowboys and the 49ers, but the Seahawks haven't done a lot. I just don't understand what their moves are. Like, you go from Geno to Sam Darnold. Like, I understand that people are still they still think Sam Darnold is the guy that the Jets, who quarterbacked the Jets. He's not that same guy, but I still don't think he was worth $30 million. Do I think he's an average quarterback? Yeah, like, he's going to be fine, but I wouldn't have paid him the amount of money that they gave him. And I guess in the end, it was just it's a 1-year contract, which I guess makes sense, but trading away DK, if you're gonna you kind of restart the whole process and rebuild, I guess it makes the sense. But at the same time, guys, like, they were one tiebreaker away from winning the division from the Rams. So I just don't understand why not just keep building on this team. And then the 49ers, I guess the bill finally came due for them. The reason they're losers for me is because you had 2 cracks at this at it, and you came up empty. And you see the Eagles, who got 2 cracks at it, and they both were able to win Super Bowls, and you didn't. That's the thing. You're having to watch the Eagles win two Super Bowls while you came up empty, losing twice to the Chiefs. So that's why they're my losers. And I'm actually gonna post Dan's losers here because I wanted him to go through it here.
Oh, there you go. Good. I was about to say I don't remember, but especially too, they tried to go all in with re-signing Ayuk, and then they don't even make the playoffs. Like, what are we even doing over there? But anyway, real quick, my loser, Cincinnati. You're stupid for signing both receivers back, having 40% of your salary cap and 3 players. Bad idea. Good luck. Having the 35th defense in the league. Pittsburgh, just like we've talked about, no idea what the hell they're doing. They're just over here spinning in circles and throwing darts at the board, seeing who they can trade for or what they can do. They have no plan at quarterback. I don't think it's going to get any better there. Jets, you signed Justin Fields. I don't think that's an upgrade over the good doctor, but, at least you'll have a hell of a running back. So Pat McAfee, he's not a loser. I love my guy. I just feel bad for him because he's got another year watching Anthony Richardson, and now the backup is Daniel Jones. God only knows how that's going to go. Miami, you're a loser because you still have Tua Tagovailoa, however you finish his name. And I think that one's going to be bad. I think that one's going to implode pretty soon.
I mean, the Mill Hunter is there now.
Especially with they made him do a video for the stupid Instagram. Like, really? That's the player you choose, the backup quarterback? Like, what are we talking about? Then also the Browns, losers. They're going to be losers for a while because they still have the expert masseuse enthusiast over there who has his overall ratings and everything else. The fiance is also, well, I guess she would be a winner actually, but I'm sure she's his personal masseuse now. So yeah, those are all my losers right there. I think it's a bad idea. Cincinnati, to me, I think that's going to implode pretty quick. There he is. Cowboys are still America's team. See, wow, turning over a new leaf. We got to throw some silver on that profile pic now. Some silver and some blue. But yeah, those are my losers for me. I think Cincinnati's going to implode pretty quick. I'm honestly going to laugh if I was a year ahead of Mike Tomlin's first losing season. So. Oh my God. What's he talking about? Trust Jerry Jones over better than Dean Spanos? Yeah, maybe 30 years ago, guy. 30 years ago.
That's what I was talking about with Dan this morning. I'm like, when Jerry was good, when free agency really wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
Like when you had full control of the players, they couldn't leave basically. So that was that's definitely, I mean, ever
Jimmy
since then.
Johnson, when he had Jimmy Johnson.
Well, but that's why when you bring a college head coach in that knows what he's doing, like Jimmy Johnson, Pete Carroll, guys like that, they know the college game and they know the next 4 rounds of players that are coming out because they've recruited all the top players, all the shitty players, all the 1-stars, all the 3s. That's why I think Jim put that in the guys' locker rooms to show them, hey, this is what you were, and look, you're in the NFL. I mean, Vic, there was one day when I'm walking around and I started looking at all the stars, and some of the Chargers' better players had 1-star, 2. So I think Justin Herbert was a 2-star or 3 coming out of high school. So there's a lot of guys that you just look around, you're like, wow. And then there's even some guys that are, I mean, not at the top of the food chain, but they were 5 stars, and you're like, oh wow, like you're okay, but like you're not what you were once said to be. So
yeah, I used to watch that Elite 11 thing with the quarterbacks. I've gone back now to watch, and a lot of those guys are just overrated. Like, you go back and you just look at some of the guys where they were rated. I think Shador Sanders was a like 1-star recruit, even though I mean, it just tells you where
it's not real. It's not real. He was a 5-star. He was a 5-star. That tells you everything. It's not real. Like that stuff's not real. Like it doesn't calculate it. That's why to me, like I know I take a lot of shit for this, but that's why I'm not a fan of the draft. Like to me, you go in the first, second, third. It doesn't matter where you go. It doesn't determine success. Like that's why to me, like the way they try and hype up the draft, I'm like, dude, the odds are half of the first round is gonna crap shoot out. Like, you know what I mean? So
he was a 3-star. Tyler was a 3-star.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Yeah. What was the other one then?
Shador was a 3-star.
Oh, so they had to be the same.
But in
Dion's rankings, where are they? That's a really important one.
Well, he's ranked his kids before. He says Shador.
Doesn't he say it changes by the day?
It does.
But one day he said Shador, then Travis, then Dion, then Shiloh. Then
he
Dion
put Travis
Jr.
over his real kids.
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
Yeah. Oh my, Joe. We love you. We'd love to.
That's a good segue right there.
That's hilarious.
That is a good segue
for now, you can go first. This is your time.
This
I
is
know
your
you.
time.
I know
Yeah,
you're
let me get-
excited.
Hold on. Give me a... There we go.
That was glorious, dude. It was so electric in there. It was crazy.
Dude,
It was so awesome to see. But well, Frau, you can go first. You can go first, Frau. This is
Why
your
you-
time. Because
No.
you're leader of the C Nation.
Did you feel like you got broken up, Fernando? There, do you feel like you
No,
got
I
dumped
feel
by
like
John
John
Cena?
Frau loves Toxicas. He's in. He's even more in now.
I think John.
There it is. There it is. You can't see him.
I think John gave me even
You
more of a
sold
reason to
out.
love him.
You sold out.
Yeah.
He was. I mean, and Dan's gonna go a whole different route with this. I thought what Cena came out and did, it was his first promo. It was his first. Wow, Joe Morley.
That's
It was his
hilarious.
first promo as a heel. There were some low spots, like definitely, but like I told Dan, he's still getting used to it. I'm sure.
Right.
He's still. I thought he was out there. He did some good stuff. I was really. I thought he was really good. I thought some of the points that he hit on were really
Oh,
good.
my
as
bad.
well.
I think you pressed it. My bad.
And I really thought that I'm really interested to see what Cena's gonna do with this. I don't think it's gonna last very long. I really think it'll go to Money in the Bank. I hope it goes until SummerSlam, because that would be like if we got a tribal chief versus John Cena with the WWE Championship up at SummerSlam. I think that would be incredible. I still want to see him hit Randy Orton one more time. I still want to see him and CM Punk. I still want to see him and Seth Rollins. I would love if WWE could do one AEW Forbidden Door and Edge pops in through there, and they let Edge and Cena have one more match. I would love that. I would love to see Cena against some of these younger guys. That would be interesting. But ultimately, I thought Cero miedo.
Oh my God.
But I definitely think that Cena had some good points. The one thing I do agree with, what I saw on Twitter, was they protected Cody Rhodes yesterday. I think they were a little bit nervous that if Cena kind of got on the mic with him,
I don't know.
because Cody Rhodes came out, said something to Cena, and then left. And I'm kind of like,
Yeah, I
why
totally
are we
get
trading
that.
jabs, especially if it's going to be a limited? Like,
I do agree with
Cena's
that.
not
That was
gonna-
stupid.
if Cena's not going to be there, if Cena's going to be there almost every week, okay, I get it. Shut the hell up, Joe. That'd be an easy match.
Light work. Light work.
I think if Cena's not going to be there, like if he's not going to be there every single Monday leading up to this, or every single Friday leading up to this would have been a good opportunity for them to
Light
kind of
work, Joe.
spar. But you could just tell, and Dan is the one that pointed this out, Vic. John had goosebumps on his arms. Like there was multiple times where the crowd was going crazy on him, and you could just tell he had goosebumps. And I honestly, I was cool with it. I liked it. The only thing is he did come off at times as like a little bit whiny, but like Dan said he did. But I did kind of I thought it was great. I thought there were some good points that he made. I love the whole. It's been 20 years, and you guys are running with the same joke about me being invisible.
That was funny.
I get tired out. Like there were
Yeah.
some good points that he hit, but like I told Dan, he's not going to use all of his material on the first night.
Yeah.
He was letting the crowd do the material for him, and now I'm interested to see. By the way, I did tell Dan. I'll let you guys go next. I did tell Dan when they were saying like shut the F up, all this stuff. They hadn't. You could tell they all had accents, so it was so funny to kind of hear it. But I loved it. I thought if you were gonna do this anywhere in Europe, it was gonna be perfect.
Yeah,
because the United States, like you're only gonna get that in certain parts of the U.S. where fans are great. In Europe, you're gonna get it everywhere, dude. They were in Brussels, Belgium. They trusted Brussels to be the first one to do this. And Brussels hit it out of the park. I thought it was great. Now that kid is a meme. The John Cena, the one where he's like, "Oh yeah, that kid right there," and that kid's now a meme and all over the internet. I think what they did, and again, I know Dan will push back on this. I thought the laziest thing would have been having him go the rest of this year as like a normal babyface Cena all the way. The fact that they did this and pulled the trigger on it, now I'm really vested. And you heard what Doug said. Now he and Doug's an on and off watcher. Now he's like, yeah, no, I'm watching leading up to WrestleMania because I really want to see what this is going to be. But I thought it was great. I love what I'm interested to see, because Cena still yet hasn't mentioned why he joined The Rock. We haven't heard any of that. So
He did
now,
what?
why did he join The Rock?
Oh, he's The Rock's bitch. Got it.
What are they going to get out of this? I'm really interested in all this, and I can't wait to see what the dynamic is between The Rock and Cena, and even Travis Scott, who, by the way, Cody Rhodes lasted 2 weeks with a black eye because of him. So that's definitely interesting. But Vic, what did you make of this?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I thought, you covered the whole John Cena stuff. I thought WWE did a good job. I was a little bit in terms of kind of questioning why they, like you said, why are you doing these shows in Europe? But then you look at the crowd and the pop from being in Spain and then now being in Brussels. I thought that was really good. You also hit on the whole Netflix thing. I thought, you mentioned that how Dan's been watching it a lot more. I've been watching it a lot more just because I have access to go and watch it whenever I want.
Oh yeah.
I don't have to wait around. I mean, I don't have to, hey, if I missed it live, I'm not gonna go back. So
I love it.
Yeah, so that's another cool thing about it. In terms of his promo, I thought it was really good. Like I said, I sent the group a cinema. It was cinema.
Oh yeah.
I thought he did a great job. It just tells you that you might not have his wrestling skills might not be there. He's not in his prime, of course.
No,
but his vocal skills on the mic are still there, and that won't go away. And sometimes that's the best thing. Like we were just having a conversation, me and Megan, because we went to go see this movie called Black Bag. Who is the director? Is the director of it is the guy from the Ocean's movies. And the movie, I'm not going to spoil it for you guys, but there is a lot of it's a lot of talking, and so it kind of sets up the whole story that way. There's not a lot of action to it, and so that's the thing where Cena kind of excels, and I thought that was really good for him.
That's what I was telling Dan, that when Cena, even when even when Roman started becoming the tribal chief, Tom, yes, they signed Andre James today. When Roman became the tribal chief and then Cena came out of Money in the Bank in 2022, there was one or two times where the Roman was caught off guard by the way Cena was talking to him on the mic. And that just happens because Cena can do all that stuff. So I completely understand why maybe you have some reservations when it comes to having Cody, but Cody's going to have to do it at one point.
Yeah.
He's going to have to go up against him, and it's going to be interesting to see if he can hang with him during the whole thing.
Isn't he there next Monday?
Yeah, they're both going to be there, and I think they're in Edinburgh. So
that's the last Europe of the leg, right? And then they get ready for WrestleMania, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, and so that'll be something to kind of keep an eye on. But I was really impressed. Like I said, I caught it late, and then of course you see the kid you mentioned. I thought that was a great thing. They've been, my only disappointment, I'll say this, has nothing to do with Cena, is the whole Rhea Ripley thing
that
that's
has
going
been
on
so
there.
dumb. That has been so dumb. Yeah.
I'm like, what are we doing here? Like,
ultimately, they know that Io's not going to be a heel, and neither is Bianca, so they need a heel in it. Because Bianca, if you hear Bianca and Io, they're way too. But like, my question goes back all the way to why did Liv have to drop the belt if you were just going to put it on Io and have those three fight at WrestleMania for it? And you might as well should have just kept it on Liv. Had Io beat Liv if you're going to do that, and then have that triple threat match between these three, and then put Liv on the tag team championships. But yeah, that's kind of dropped the ball, and I think the Charlotte Flair.
Who cares about that one? That one I don't want to see anything. I don't want to see that at all.
A little lame, but I think Liv right now is the one carrying the women's division.
Well,
those shoes she was wearing, I was like, oh yeah, go girl.
My biggest worry though of now with Rhea is like, I feel like I'm starting to get a Charlotte Flair vibe from her. Where if she's not in the championship, like, what are we gonna do with this chick? And that bothers me because I think she has a lot of talent. I think she's very good. But yeah, I agree with you, Vic. The way they've set this whole thing up is so stupid. I couldn't believe it. I was like, this looks like something out of a cartoon, dude. It's just so dumb. But anyway, so now you want me to go for John Cena? Is that why I'm on the big screen?
Sure, why not?
Okay. My whole thing with John Cena, I love the fact that he turned heel. I just don't like that he's The Rock's bitch. That's something separate and aside. With him Monday, I thought like, he had a lot of good moments of like funny references, like good things he said and stuff like that. Obviously it worked the crowd, but I'm like, where's the guy that silenced The Rock, the great one? I had never seen someone silence, the pie eating, if you smell, everything else. You know what I mean? And, I was like, where's that guy at? Like, I didn't think it was his best. It reminded me a lot of CM Punk when he was talking about, his face isn't on the ice creams and all that, and how the people cheering for him are worse because they buy that crap and then they shove it in his face at an airport at 5 a.m. to sign. But CM Punk obviously did it better. So,
well, we all know Cena's not flying commercial.
So even more the reason he should be at every show for his farewell tour, right?
He's a busy guy.
Oh, okay.
But that's a heel. That's a heel work. Him not being at every show.
How are you supposed to build up if you don't even know what the guy's doing or saying? Frown,
a guy like him doesn't need to do it. He doesn't need to be at every show.
Okay, I'm not saying he needs to be at every show. I'm not saying he needs to be at every show, but for the buildup of WrestleMania, he should be. I had to wait 2 to 3 weeks before I even find out what happened 2 to 3 weeks ago at Elimination Chamber or whatever it was. Like,
he was busy
what are we
in
talking
India.
about? Yeah, that's great. That's great. Then move the whole show over to Hungary or wherever he is, and let's just do it out there. What are we doing? But not his best promo work. I wasn't, very impressed. He sounded whiny. He sounded bitchy. Again, the heel that I would have loved to have seen is, the tyrant that they said he was backstage and all.
That's what
stuff.
I was waiting for too.
Like,
I've been the one collecting champion. Like I thought he was kind of getting there. I don't put guys over. I don't this.
Yeah,
I was waiting for that, but I feel like he's bringing that up.
Like I wanted him to be like, I'm done doing this. I'm done being a company man or something like that. You know what I mean? I would have even been happy if like, on Monday,
Charlotte Flair came out and said, you're not beating my dad's streak.
Yeah, no one cares about her. She's irrelevant. She's there because of her father. Any true fan knows that.
No, she's athletic. She's good in the
ring.
No,
she has skill, but let's be real.
Her
mic skills suck. Yeah. Her stories have usually sucked. And if she's not in a title, she's not doing anything else. She had that
storyline with Becky Lynch. That was pretty good. But yeah.
Great. I'm sure Becky carried it. Not worried. But what was I getting at?
I miss Becky.
I do miss Becky. Becky was the best.
Hopefully we get her either.
Well, I think she's going to come back and she's going to have to challenge Liv. Liv is saying that she retired Becky Lynch.
Oh, yeah, that'll happen soon.
It's going to have to happen.
But going back to John Cena, like the other thing is also like, this is what I was going to say. I wish on Monday, but I mean, I know this is going to ruffle some feathers up the WWE ladder. I would have loved if he would have been just gone fully committed and been like, look what you guys did to Hulk Hogan. And I mean, obviously, I understand he has his own backstory, but look what you guys did for Hulk Hogan. You cheered for him for 40 years, whatever it is. Then as soon as he wasn't good or whatever, you spat him out and you started booing him and shit like that. You know what I mean? Just something a little more. Like,
it's only his first time.
Something was missing. And
he's a heel virgin. It was his first time.
That's not true. That's not true. He's not a heel virgin.
He wasn't a heel when he was the Doctor of Thugonomics.
Never mind. That actually looks kind of grotesque. I'm sorry I did that. But Doctor of Thugonomics was light years ahead of all.
But he wasn't a heel there. I think he was more of like an anti-hero,
whatever. Yeah, sure.
He would wear the opposing jersey, or he'll wear the jersey of the city that he's in.
Yeah, but like all his promos there were honestly really good. The raps were really good. But that's what I'm getting at. Like, where was the fire? Like, I don't know. Like, obviously he was angry. Obviously he had good points. He had good points that were good. But then, like, he lets Cody get the last word and leave, and he just waits to exit the ring when it's his turn. Like, it was just weird. It was weird.
So you wanted him to like bury Cody there.
I did actually. Yeah. How is he gonna? If you're a heel, how are you gonna let him talk to you like that, and then you're not even gonna say anything? Just wait.
It's coming.
I'll see Monday.
God.
I'm interested to see what happens Monday.
And then
I'm with that. If we don't get it on Monday, then I I understand where Dan is coming from. Like,
Yeah,
Don't
like
listen
it
to that
wasn't his best
psycho.
promo work, and for him to turn all of a sudden, I was expecting something legit. Like
wait.
yeah, I was entertained because it's Cena. Yeah, I was entertained because it's something new. Yeah, I was, watching and hanging on to every word.
If they don't have
But it's-
Cody and him combat on the mic, that means that they're nervous that Cody can't hang
Then he
with
can't
him.
do it. He can't do it, and he needs to do what
He might as well
Roman
just hand
Reigns
the
did.
championship over to Cena so he can get a 17th.
Well, there you go. Well, I saw that clip recently where I forgot who he was rivaling, and he said, no one's going to know you 15 years from now. The only thing they're going to know you as is a trivia answer. Who did John Cena beat for the 17th title? I forgot who it was. It was actually really good. But you know what I mean? I'm like, where's the fire? Where's the good storytelling? Like
Don't worry.
the whole time he's
It's
like,
coming.
oh, you guys.
You're not
you
going to
guys
give it away
blew
on the
me."
first time.
It's
By the
so
way,
dumb. Frown, but you got a hook though. You got a
They hooked
hook.
him.
the hook was kicking him in the nuts and turning on him.
Oh God! I did like what you said though, Frown. Oh, my
Oh.
God.
We better get Ben Diesel.
I was the rogue agent.
That'd be hilarious.
Me.
Yeah.
Tom, you ever think about how Mr. Nobody found you?
Yeah.
He was a snake in that one too.
Well, don't you remember? And then
I
obviously-
don't. I try to forget those
Oh,
movies.
we can watch it in a little while if you want.
I'm good. I'd rather watch Drive to Survive. But you know what I mean? Like there was just a lot to me missing. I'm like, because usually, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not really a John Cena guy, but his promos usually are really good. And this one, I was just kind of like lackluster. Like, I'm like, where's the guy who took on The Rock? He quieted The Rock. Like,
Don't
who's
worry,
ever
it's
done
coming.
that? I do want to see him go at it with Drew, though. I do want to see that. Drew McIntyre
Nobody
would be a
cares.
sick one. Of course they do. Of course they do. But I liked your idea. How they should have put changed the shirts up, but a little play on words. That would have been funny.
Did you like that?
Oh,
Did you guys like that he didn't change
yesterday-
his music?
I did.
No,
I did like
I,
that.
I
when he
like that he
referenced
didn't
that.
do it. I think
I
that's
like that
funny.
when he referenced it.
I thought he should have changed the shirt up and put "Never Give In." I thought he should have done.
No, it is Never Give In, isn't it? Oh
no,
yeah,
Never Give Up.
yeah. You're right. You're right. Never Give
And
In.
then the other one is what was the other one? Above Hate. And then what did I say?
There was another one. Yeah, it was
Embrace
really
the
fun.
hate.
Yeah. Embrace the
That
hate.
would
Yeah,
that would be a
something like
good
that.
one.
I did stuff like that. I mean, he should have played off of that and started doing stuff with it. But
Especially like it's so funny to see that he comes out looking the same and just bipolar. There you go, King Booker. That's a throwback.
by the way, I have some funny clips for you guys. Dan, your boy, Dom. Did you see what he did with Jey
That's
Uso
my
in Germany?
dog. That's my dog. That's hilarious. I really hope he becomes a new leader of Judgment Day and he gets to win a title.
And then remember, he grabbed the Intercontinental Championship and he looked at it. So it seems like I think it's gonna be Penta. I think Penta's gonna win it at the WrestleMania, and then I think we're gonna get Penta versus Dom, and Dom's gonna win the championship.
I hope so.
Vic,
It's time to
you
push
can
him.
take it down. I have some more stuff.
Yeah,
Did
no
you
worries.
see,
Go ahead.
Look at this.
Oh no!
Oh, I did see this.
Oh, I saw that. Oh, now is that the ropes or is that just him? It just happened.
That was him. He didn't get it. I have another thing, Vic.
He didn't go far or high enough.
Yeah, he didn't. He didn't jump high enough. Okay, so 5 years ago on Sunday, Becky Lynch joined. Becky Lynch joined Stone Cold Steve Austin, and in the ring, and she gave Byron Saxton a stunner. 5 years ago from Sunday, which was 3/16 day. That was when we were still in COVID, and he came. It was I think in 2020, and she came out and she talked about she was with Stone Cold and everything. Well, listen to what happened that night after her and Steve Austin got drunk.
What was the decision when you just said, "Hey, let's start a family"?
Well, so I mean, that was always the goal, but I didn't know that it would happen so quickly. But then there was a 316 day, and I end up getting really drunk on TV. And then anyway, 9 months later, I had a baby. So
Are you trying to tell me it's Steve Austin's or what?
No. So that night after 316, she went home with Seth, and that's when they conceived the baby. So
that's
her
actually
being
funny.
drunk that night, that was pretty. I thought that was actually really funny.
That's really funny. Yeah.
Seeing that, and then obviously last few before we head over to this is obviously the post of Cena. Oh, my bad. The Cleveland Browns put, it's always sign this guy, draft that guy, but never how are you, admin. And it said, not one of you asked me how.
Oh my God.
Honestly, some of the best memes I've seen have been with Cena.
Yeah. So freaking good.
Yeah.
I thought they did a really good job. And then obviously the last one was remember this from the show?
Oh, that was funny.
John Cena broke my son's heart.
Yeah. That was funny. I saw that at the thing. Yeah, that was hilarious. But like I said, I just hope he delivers, man, because this is going to be so disappointing.
And then I have one final thing.
If he can't actually deliver being a bad guy, that's going to be really annoying.
So obviously, no, I have two final things. Real quick. No, this is from Namas. Okay, no, I do have one more thing. Jamar Chase and was asked about during his press conference why he decided to commit long term to Cincinnati. You have to listen to this.
For me, I like Cincinnati because it gives me the opportunity to come here and focus. I'm not distracted out here. It's not too many things to get me, off pace out here, and it's strictly what I'm focused on. That's really tunnel vision for me to play football. So, at the end of the day, the food's not the best. We could work on that, but I'm from New Orleans. I'm not used to the food yet. But, overall, honestly, I just think that's the biggest picture for me is that I don't have no distractions here, and I can just play football.
By the way, I do have to give Jamar Chase a lot of credit because I know Joe Burrow was pushing for it, but Jamar told him, sign with my agent. I want to be here as long as T. Higgins is going to be here. Like that. Obviously he still signed for the 40+ million, but at the same time, he said he wanted to be there with his guy, T. Higgins. And he basically, I think he had said, right, Vic, that if T. Higgins was there, he would have to rethink. If he wasn't there, he would have to rethink his future in Cincinnati. So he's wanted T. Higgins there, and now thanks to him and the agent. So the agent basically said, Dan, this is a 2-for-1. Like if you're gonna want one, you're gonna have to get the other. So that was definitely pretty interesting to see. But I actually thought that was really a really funny clip.
I'm from New Orleans. I'm not used to the food. That's hilarious. New Orleans did have really good food though. Yeah, really good food. Sometimes
you got one more, Fernando?
Yeah, I'm wondering.
Let me do one more, and then we'll go to Una Mas. Keon Coleman was asked about what it was like to go to Josh Allen's house and eat at his place.
So the first time they invited me to dinner at this place, I don't even know what this was. The woman cooked. It looked like we was eating onions, fish, and bread. I was like, this is like the stuff Jesus fed the people in the little children book. Like the little children book they give you. Like that's what that looked like. I said, man, what is this, bro? So
oh my God.
This is what Jesus Christ fed the people in the children's book.
Oh my God.
Oh shit, that was pretty good. Gunter is supposedly suffering from an injury.
Oh no.
No, it's a back injury carrying Jey Uso the last few months.
Yeah, I was about to say, that's hilarious. That one to me is also, speaking of what Vic was going on for Io Sky and them, that one's kind of been disappointing too, I think. Not a very good buildup. You're just kind of like, okay, there it is.
Well, I just wonder what they're going to do with him.
Yeah.
Because it just seems like this championship match needs more.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. They've kind of had a few promos and they're okay. Like, it's like the problem is sometimes too, like you run into the thing where like if you can only be the underdog, I feel like you can't do every promo like that. You know what I mean? Like how many times we've already heard them talk about, being doubted and this, that, and that. And I'm kind of like, you're kind of piling these up too close together, and you start to notice,
I feel it. All right, let us go now and finish off with Una Mas. No, with Brother of the Week. Sorry. I think only 2 of us have one. I'm gonna have a burial, and then I'm gonna up something. So I'm gonna bring something up. So all right, I will go first, just real quick. I have to bury Ted Lasso.
Oh yeah.
And look, no, it's not for that.
No, I know.
You left me wanting something when it came to. I thought that their third season was okay, but like we never saw him win a championship. He hasn't been in the Champions League. You could have had way more cameos because so see, for people who haven't watched, Ted Lasso season 4 is going to be about him coaching the women's team, which I'm okay with. Yeah. But I wanted more. Like he left me. Stop smiling.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm not okay with it. I think it's silly. Like
he
not in the sense that it's the women. Like it's like you're talking about. There's so much story left to be told, and you're just randomly pivoting.
Yeah, I mean? Like there was still some more story to be told. I wanted to see him in the Champions League. I thought if they could have brought Jude Bellingham, some of these Jack Grealish, guys like that, because all you used was Pep Guardiola, and that's cool and everything. Yeah. But like, why didn't you use Holland? Why didn't you use other players to kind of show, like, do a friendly against the Saudi Arabia team that Al Nazir that Ronaldo's playing in? Or Inter Miami with Messi, like you do the United States tour and you do something with Messi. Like you could have done a lot more with this and had a couple more cameos and really had some fun with it. And they just decided to go straight to something new. Like, I don't know. And then they're talking about not bringing back certain characters. And I'm kind of like, eh. And then they're going to bring, supposedly they're going to have, if they're going to do like, half of it be the AFC Richmond men and half of it the AFC Richmond women, because I want to see how
Coach Kent.
Yeah, Coach Kent. I want to see
how he's supposed to be coming back. So is Keeley. So is the
I'm sure I was kind of over Keeley at one point.
I've been over Keeley from season 1.
I was I liked her in season 2 with him, with Roy, but then when they had her be like not in a relationship with anybody who's in there. She was in a relationship with somebody else. I was kind of like, okay, this kind of run its course. And then the chick backstabs her, and
the whole thing to me,
without her.
Like I think Ted Lasso to me is almost like a failed. It's almost like a what could have been, like one of those. It's almost like a Jamarcus Russell, like a what could have been type thing. Like I thought it could have been a lot better, because like how are you going to tell me? Like I get it, maybe because maybe non-sports people watch. The owner is sleeping with the player, and then all of a sudden we just never talk about that again. Like,
that was
what are we talking about? There was a lot of stuff happening there that you're just like,
there's so much story left to be told.
Oh yeah,
and I get it. You like the last season, I thought was actually the last episode. I thought was really good. Yeah, and if they would have ended it there, cool. But now you're gonna revive it, and then you're gonna say, "Oh, well, he's gonna be coaching the women's team."
It's always a bastardized version.
Instead of doing this, why not have a woman coach the women's team, and you have half Ted Lasso coaching the men's team, or Kent or whatever, and then have a woman coaching the women's team? Like, why does he need to
I can tell you why. I can tell you why.
No, don't. I don't need you telling me anything.
Rating.
I'm good. Well,
I think he's gonna be a draw, but
and then I saw him on the show with the Kelsey brothers, and he's already grown out the mustache. So I'm like, okay, they're gonna start filming soon. But I'm just kind of like, you're gonna spin this in a weird way that I hope they do half Roy Kent, half the women's team if they're gonna do it like that. But if you get it like that, then I will watch. But if it's just gonna be just all on the other side with like really no Roy Kent, I'm gonna be like, eh. Like I still remember the episode where Roy. She asked Roy to do the press conference because Ted had something else to do, and he sends Beard out there, and Beard's fighting and cursing, and then he goes, "Oi, Kent!" And then she yells at him about doing the press conference. So I actually thought that would have been like, that's pretty funny, but I hope they do right by this and they don't screw this up. To be honest,
they won't. They'll screw it up. Look at half of these live actions.
Yeah, because I mean, Roy Kent takes over as the head coach, right? He's the main coach, right?
Manager.
So
I
the way I would kind of do it is have him kind of get fired and then have him team up with Ted Lasso and hey, like let's run the women's team and then go from there. But we'll see what happens. I mean, there's a lot there in terms of what they can use.
Yeah.
And I'm with you. I mean, that also now because of the access that Apple has, they can go and get some of those players now. I felt like in the first 3 years it was kind of hard. just because you don't want to interfere with some of the players and in terms of having to pay them that much money. But as of right now, you can have access to them.
I'm sure now some of the and Messi is getting part of Apple
with
TV
Apple,
money.
yeah, exactly.
So bullshit, you're not going to do it
Yeah.
unless you get paid. You're already
Right.
getting paid. Get in there, stupid ass, and you're a big fraud anyway. Get in there and do something. So, by the way, I hope I don't get dinged for this. I want to play it though, just because it's so funny.
Dude.
Oi, Kent! Get your hairy ass into my office now!
Every single one of you knows my ass isn't hairy. Yet none of you spoke up.
So just give me
So
some,
good.
like, give me
Yeah.
half and half. I don't care. Just
There's
need
so much left. There's so
like,
much left.
I just want to see. And then Jamie's not gonna be there, so I'm kind of like I'm sure he's gonna have small cameos, but it's like Jamie and his relationship was always the best.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
they were amazing. But I do want to do an thumbs up to somebody. The trailer for Happy Gilmore 2 came out today. I don't know what it's about. I don't know what's going on. Why did Happy have to go back and golf? And I'm glad. That's what a movie that's what a trailer's supposed to be about. Not 2.5 to 3 minutes of them explaining it to us what's going to happen during the whole story.
Or giving the whole movie away.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I love this. It's 1 minute and 35 seconds with a bunch of cameos from Ben Stiller. You don't even know why Shooter's back there, but you see Shooter screaming and he's in the rain, getting rained on. Like, I love that part. Give me more trailers like that where you don't have to give me anything. Like, if you can do what you need to do in 1.5 minutes, beautiful. So I love that. I can't wait to see it. I love that Benito is actually going to be his caddy the whole movie, it seems like, because there was a couple cameos from him. The mom from Modern Family, who was obviously his girlfriend in the first one, she's going to be there. So there, we saw Ben Stiller, and it seemed like the nipples guy, the coach from the Water Boy, to be in there as well. So
nice.
I'm definitely, I'm really interested. I want to see how many crossover, because in Hubie Doobie Halloween or whatever, he had numerous cameos. So I'm wondering how many cameos he's gonna have here from other movies that he's done, not just Happy Gilmore. So I'm definitely excited.
Like,
and then
they're
give
getting
me
a
AI
bunch of people
grandma.
in there.
I know she'd be dead by now, but give me AI
Right.
grandma. Like, do something with her. So his happy place is going to be funny when he has to go through his happy place. I'm interested to see what it's going to be, him like eating a Snickers bar and drinking a beer or something like that. But I had to do a thumbs down and a thumbs up. So I buried Ted Lasso. I need to see it before I can really get into it. So, and I'm supposed to watch it for Dan, and I need to tell Dan what it's about, and then Dan will see it.
I probably don't need to.
All right,
I can tell you what
Vic,
it's
go
about.
ahead.
Yeah, I changed mine now halfway through after listening to you, and mine is movie trailers. I think you're right on. So we went to go see 2 movies this week. We went to go see Novocaine, which we really love. Actually, we love both of the movies. We went to go see Novocaine. It's great with Huey from The Boys. He was excellent in it. If you've seen the movie Predator, the lead actress from that is in this movie. It's really good. It's action filled. But the thing is that with AMC, you're having to be there for about 30 minutes watching trailers, and as you just said, like, you end up watching like the whole movie, and by the end of it, like the whole trailer, like in that whatever 30 seconds, you end up watching the whole movie, and you're like, I don't really want to watch it. And then it's been pretty consistent lately with the trailers. Is you get one MCU movie, then you get 4 horror movies, and then you get another like movie where they're giving you all the whole movie in there, and I'm just like, I really want to go and see. And then one more thing in terms of movie trailers, this also goes to Netflix. I'm gonna bury Netflix. They put out a movie, I think it was Electric something, with Chris Pratt and 11, where it cost them $320 million, and they're trying to ruin the movie. Like, I still like going to the movies and watching the movies. I don't need to be home watching it. I understand, like, it's up to you whether you want to do that. But the fact that Netflix is trying to do that, I really do not like that. I still enjoy going to the movies, and
So do I.
yeah. I mean, look, not every movie, and I like going supporting, like Dan has been saying. Hey, there's original stuff. Like I said, I went to go watch Black Bag, which was great, with the guy from X-Men. He's really good in there. And then you have Novocaine, which is also, it's kind of like a superhero movie, but without being attached to any comic book, and I thought it was really good. So there's original stuff out there that you can go watch. We're trying to plan and go see Mickey 17 with the guy from what is it, Twilight. Yeah, like, so
I just can't believe they've never solved the whole like markup for their concessions. Like that to me is still criminal. Like past COVID and everything else, like you're still charging so much money for candy and stuff like that you'll get somewhere for like $1.
Yes, and this is
Oh, I want to go.
This movie coming out this year is 28 years later. It looks really good.
That looks interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I heard about Novocaine. That's Dennis Quaid's son.
Yeah. That's the one where he feels no pain.
Hurt.
Yeah, he feels no pain.
Yeah,
or whatever.
it's so good. Like it's I'm telling you, I went to go see. I highly recommend it if you get a chance. It also has the kid who plays Spider-Man's best friend in that movie.
Oh, really?
Well. And then the bad guy, you're gonna see it's somebody who is the son of a famous actor. I don't want to give it away, but yeah, it's really good.
Is Black Bag a spy movie or what? Oh, shit.
Yeah, it's it is a spy movie. It's really good. That's another good one, and it's from the director of the Ocean's 11 movies.
It's like you ever see Allied?
I have not.
Allied was like that, about a spy whose wife betrays or whatever.
Yeah,
crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, Final Destination. Dan and I have been watching the Final Destinations lately, so 6 or 7. Yeah, I'm interested. It's still on.
We still have to finish.
We just rewatched the first one, and we were like, wow, like there was some stuff we forgot about, but it's pretty. Yeah,
they're pretty good. Vic, can you take this off real quick? I wanted to show two more things. One, obviously we're in Una Mas now, but as we're speaking about Adam Sandler, this is one of the funniest scenes ever.
Oh yeah.
On Saturday. That's why I'm so upset.
How do you know for sure it wasn't you?
Because I wasn't there.
It sure looked like you were there to me. Oh, he's dead. Come on, let's figure this out together. This is a tricky situation. Do me a favor. Say, oh, Chuck, keep butter in my biscuit.
Get out of here.
No, I'm trying to do detective work here so we can both be happy. Dude, I feel violated.
Chuck, keep butter in my biscuit.
You're right, that wasn't you.
You're such a loser, Chuck. Let it go, Darla.
Hey, look who's here.
He has moved up from Marshall's to Bloomingdale's. He didn't even know it was.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Oh my! That's why he always has like such a hot wife or co-star in it.
Dude, he had freaking Selma Hayek, for God's sake.
Jennifer Aniston.
Oh,
here he has Jessica Biel. Remember?
Oh yeah.
Jeez. Last thing. What would you do? Was this girl right or wrong when it comes to this video? I don't know if you guys saw. Guys,
that was so bad.
I found my dad
so bad.
account on our family vacation. He's been married to my mom for 20 years.
That was so bad.
It's ruined our family. It's just a fun.
What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about.
The fact that she's still recording.
Are you serious?
No, that's terrible.
Even she doesn't even look like she's fazed by it.
There's literally there's something wrong with, I don't know if it's newer generations. I don't know if it's the technology. There's really a lot of sick people out there. Like besides those, I know for real. That's what we're gonna have to pay them for borrowing that. There's a lot of sick people out there. The hackers of the world, those scumbag pieces of shit. The what's it called? These people who record terrible things and then just for views upload it. Like, to me, that's insane. Like, you over here, I don't know if I guess you're over here shedding something, to your mom, telling her some truth, and you record it for social media, like, because 100%, I don't doubt that someone in their family would see that. Like, that's just crazy to me. There's something wrong with these people nowadays who will just, because the other one that bothers me too is when like people are getting robbed or beat up and stuff like that, and they're just recording. Like, and that's just crazy to me. Like, there's really something wrong with, a lot of these people out here nowadays.
I won't be paying at Uncle Jam's Army.
There you go.
I do have one last one.
No worries.
Hibachi, last one, I swear.
No, you're good.
I thought this video was actually pretty funny.
That is pretty good. That's hilarious. Oh my God.
No, watch me rap. Watch me nanny. Watch me rap. Watch me.
Oh, yeah, that's hilarious.
It's a boy.
It's an art.
Every move you make, everyone you bring,
Yeah, these are my favorite. The kid reactions.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
That's hilarious. That's
Yeah,
hilarious.
that's
They're always
hilarious.
good about that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, my favorite are the kid reaction, the baby ones.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that starts today. March Madness starts today.
Oh yeah, so you have the playing games today and tomorrow.
Yeah, that's what I
you
thought.
get.
Dan, your UCSD Trojans made it in before San Diego State has to do a
Trojans, moron, Tritons.
Tritons.
They're all in the ocean.
Tritons. Trojans are in the ocean.
Yeah, a lot of people are picking them to upset Michigan.
Maybe
I saw
used
that.
Trojans are in the ocean.
Shut up, idiot. I just meant but Aztec, playing game. So
Yeah, who cares? I'm not
Dan,
gonna
but
bet
you're
about that.
UCSD.
Don't worry, I'll jump on the bandwagon real quick. I at least admit it. I'm not like all these fake ass people. I'll tell them I'm bandwagoning.
Yeah, they're a big West team. So yes, we'll,
Dan, if the
we'll
Padres
be.
make it to the World Series next year, who's the
I'm
biggest
the
Padres
biggest
fan out
Padre
there?
fan, baby. I'm the
Yes.
biggest Padre fan you know.
There you go.
But they won't. I
And
already
if they
saw.
suck,
Oh, I don't even know who they are. Dude, you could tell. They're over here flying for an SDFC game while they're supposedly playing or
in spring training.
spring training or whatever. Like they're not ready. They're
Vic,
not
did
ready.
you
Yes, I did.
you watched it?
Yes, I woke up this morning at 3 a.m. and watched the Dodger game.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Dan, you did it last year, Dan.
There's 800 more games to go. You'll miss a
Yes.
whole month. You won't
I
even know
know.
anything.
Dude, Joe
And I-
Morley was tweeting out videos.
Yeah, I
of him
saw
watching it.
that.
Well, at least one of
Shout
his
out to him.
teams came through for him. So shout out, I guess.
Yeah, we had our fantasy draft that I co-own with Gilbert that he does.
He did a
0%.
baseball one.
Oh yeah, he's been a co-manager with me for about I want to say now
all the
10
work,
years.
Dan?
Oh, he does. He just puts his name on that thing.
Yeah. Yeah, so we had our draft yesterday. It was pretty fun.
Then if they start losing, he's gonna be like, Vic, you're a shitty manager.
Yeah,
That's
I
what he's
know.
gonna say.
He's like, so where did we finish? It was last year. It was like third. It's like, oh, that's good.
Don't worry, if it's first, he's gonna come knocking for
Yeah.
the prize money or whatever.
You
Yeah, that's
see
right.
me- Yeah,
That's right.
We just want to thank
You
you
can't
to
see 'em.
everybody so much for jumping on and tuning in to Compas on the Beat. Thursday we will be having a What's Up Bolts. Oh shit, probably around. Vic, we may have to push House of Horns because I think at
Oh, don't
5.
worry. I don't think we're gonna do one.
okay.
There hasn't been much like outside of the inside linebacker. There's not a lot
Okay.
to talk about. We kind of went through it last week, so
Okay,
I,
perfect.
unless something
So,
happens,
We'll probably do a 5 o'clock What's Up Bolts because we're gonna grab lunch with somebody and maybe that somebody wants to jump on with us and talk a little bit about it. So we'll see what happens there. Next week, I'm planning on another big guest, Doug Kyed. Thank you so much.
Shout out.
Tyler Dragon. Everybody's like, honestly, I just want to thank everybody because they've come in really clutch with us being down a compa. If Dan, could you call him a compa or what are you calling him?
I don't know. I'm still debating. I had to wait 2 or 3 months or whatever to get a photo of just the child, and he sends
Yeah.
me a photo of the child and himself. So that's a problem.
I was
That's a
gonna say,
problem I
guys, we do have this memorable
Raiders, Jets,
What?
Colts,
What?
Bengals,
What?
Cardinals,
What?
Falcons,
What?
Bears. Now, let me explain. Like the Jets, I don't have to defend too much because
No.
here's the
Jets,
teams that
Bengals, you don't have to
there's probably like maybe 5 really good teams. Well, let me give you the teams in the AFC that I really like. That can contend for a Super Bowl. You got the Jets and the Bills. I like those two. That's 2 right there. You in the AFC South, I like the Colts and I like the Texans. That's 2 right there. I don't have to debate too much. And then for the North, I like the Bengals a lot. I don't really care for the Ravens, but you what?
None of
Hilarious.
those teams. None of those teams met the playoffs, by the way.
Only the Bills, I guess, but that was given.
But we just want to thank everybody for jumping on, and we'll have a cool guest next week. Let me see if he stops being a diva and he actually jumps on, because he dissed me twice during the season. He said he loved me at the Super Bowl. Let's see if he still loves me enough to jump on with us. So I don't want to say his name because I don't want to put too much pressure on him. But I'm sure he's going to come up with something to make an excuse about not jumping on with us. But no, we'll definitely try and get somebody on next week. It'll be fun. It'll be exciting like we've been doing. So, again, thank you to everybody for tuning in. Thank you to Leaky Dong. God, I shouldn't have said his name. Uncle Jam's Army.
Smash like button.
Tay Jackson, Tom, the Joe Morley, Robert D, Fitness, Jorge. Thank you, Jorge. Dano. Let's see who else. Our compa from Ireland.
Yes,
that's my dog.
Happy Gilmore. I think Senor Vive Moi. Dime Drawer 4. I don't know who that is. James Wheelock. Jim Allen. Thank you guys so much. Again, don't forget this week. What's up, Bolts? Yeah, thank you, Jesse. That's thank you to Vic. Vic has been killing it, and he has some good. Jesse, thank you so much for commenting. But yeah, Vic is killing it over here with the graphics. So again, we will be back next week, probably on the same time, because I'm gonna try and get somebody from the Midwest / East Coast. So see what their schedule's like. If they're not being, si no se ponen los moños, we'll ask him and see if he can jump on with us. But again, thank you to everybody. You guys are awesome. You guys are amazing. We will be back on Thursday with What's Up Bolts around 5 o'clock, and then next week we'll be back. We'll probably 5:30 actually, because we kind of go long with this individual when we have lunch with them. So next week we will be back on Tuesday, same time, about 3:15, 3:30, and we'll see if this individual can jump on with us. If he does, I will apologize to him live on here, but we'll see. I got to see it to believe it. But again, thank you guys so much. Thank you to Vic. Thank you to Doug Kyed. Thank you to Dan. And again, we will be back next week. Dan, why don't you get us out of here?
Like, comment, subscribe, be a compa, tell a compa, and don't forget, John Cena still the Rock's bitch.